Hello, Apex Legends fans, and welcome back to Apex Legends Master Circuit Wildcards Qualifier for North America. We are well under our way. My name is Matrum, but you can just call me Matt, and I am joined by Girl, the one and only. You guys should be very familiar with her at this stage. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Excited to cast with you again. We casted EU. If you guys missed that, it's definitely in the VODs. But Matt brings the good vibes, the good energy, and he actually brought a lot of great coaching advice to the teams earlier today.
Why actually in it? Makes me feel bad. It's like he actually said something smart.
I mean, it was a little unexpected. I gotta be honest, but it was perfect coaching advice. So I'm just letting the viewers know if they missed it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Well, enough of my ego being just stroked. We've got to go ahead and walk you guys through everything you need to know on how to make the day and what's going to be happening. So, easy enough. You guys probably watched this enough to know that we're going to be running through trios up to 20 teams, depending on how many that sign up, and we're going to be walking across 5 games today to see who qualifies.
Yes, and to do so, to qualify, you need your point system. So for first place, it's going to net you the most points, which is 12 that you can get from placement points, but you can get a point for each elimination. So if you rack those eliminations up, you can get yourself a huge game. For second place, it's 9 points. For third place, it's 7. Fourth, for 5 points, and fifth, you get 4 points. A little vice versa there. 6th and 7th, you get 3 points. 8th to 10th, you get 2 points. 11th through 15th, you only get 1 point. And if you die in the first 4 teams to die, you don't get any placement points whatsoever.
Probably don't get any of those eliminations. And I'm never going to unsee that 4 and 5 have their points inverted now that you pointed out. What's everybody playing for? Oh, that's easy. It's $600 up at the top of this, as well as $300 for second place. Third and fourth get $150. But fear not, if you come in that 5th through 10th position, you also get a seat in the seasonal final that is coming up in just a few weeks. I think it's right after the beginning of the year. It's like the 7th or something.
Yes, it is on January 7th. You have that right. And here are the teams that qualified for today's tournament. We've got a Toaster back, Axolotl back, BNB, our second place team last wildcards around, Bro, CPT, Fake Preds, who ended up winning our wildcards number 2, High Precision, IITZ, New Team, Outsiders, Parallel, Rollers MX, who ended up getting 3rd, losing to 2nd by 1 point, Ruthless Ramparts, Stretch, Mob, the Hydras, Titanus, TPK, and Unaverage. It's actually Unaverage. Don't get that wrong. It looks like a Knave Rage, but it's actually Unaverage.
Well, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, what the cha is going on, there's plenty of ways to be involved. Pretty much you can just hop on PlayStation and get involved in everything that's going to be happening, but the easiest way to do it is going to be going over to compete.playstation.com, where there's tons of opportunities for you to be able to sign up, not just for Apex, but a lot of other games. And on top of that, there's a lot of stuff that is on the line right now. Most notably, if you manage to rack up some wins in the PlayStation tournaments through all of December and January, you get a chance for cash prizes as well. And I'm sorry, you get a chance for prizes like the new DualSense Edge controller or PlayStation 5 consoles. Sign up on console or start competing for prizes today. New rules can be read over at compete.playstation.com. Gotta say, I love PlayStation. I gotta find myself a PlayStation 5. I cannot. I'm still in that area where you can't find them anywhere. And we're moving into Christmas. I finally have some extra cash and just can't get them. So maybe I should sign up for some stuff.
Maybe you should sign up for some of the tournaments. There's always time for after the cast to do so. Or you could compete in these PlayStation tournaments, right? In the finals, we've given away so many PS5s to first and second place over the other finals. But for now, we are through the qualifiers. We'll have to wait till seasonal playoffs to see who ends up winning those again.
I'm also kind of a fan of the DualShock Edge. That is it's just a very sexy controller, and I like it a lot. If you guys haven't looked at it, I firmly recommend it. It's what I use whenever I do play on PC and PlayStation, bounce between them. I even use it whenever I'm playing on PC. It's a lot of fun. All right, so we're going to be running into the Apex action with this one. We didn't see a lot of major innovations coming out from the meta whenever we were over in EU. We did see like a bow here or there and some random fun stuff, but I think that we're kind of established in meta. You think we might get any curveballs, or you heard anything about any of these teams wanting to do something frisky?
Honestly, I think we're going to see Horizon again 100%. I think we're going to see a lot of Seer as well. But the competition here in NA is so tight that I actually don't know who is going to end up winning. And of course, we're on the map Broken Moon, if you don't know. And there's a lot of easy third parties to take. So These teams are going to have to play it safe. I think we're going to get less aggression than we did in our EU region earlier today, but it's still going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Well, that's not really fair. In North America, everybody likes to fight, and in EU, it was just 2 teams that were killing everyone. So we'll see how the mix-up comes in as we are getting everything ready. It looks like the drop ship's getting ready to take off here in just a little while. Give us just a few more minutes to get everything established. But as we're looking through this one, I want to go back into talking about the map for a second. We haven't had a chance to really see a lot of competitions on this map, and that's kind of what makes it fun, is seeing some variations on it. It really forces a lot more innovation. Like, we keep finding out all of these new positions and strong points that people are trying to find from. Also, a lot of sneaky little rat holes that people are managing to get into.
Yeah, absolutely. PlayStation Master Circuit really likes to revolve their tournaments around the current rank system. So these teams have had the chance to practice during ranked, but it does not compare to the amount of skill that they have to fight against here in our tournament. There's money on the line, there's playoff spots on the line, and there's a lot of pride on the line here today. And we've seen them play against each other week in and week out. And honestly, it is a really fun map to watch. Like you said, we don't see many tournaments in the past. Nobody has really had the courage to bring Broken Moon into a tournament and to compete on to this map. So big shout out to everyone adapting in these tournaments lately. We saw a lot of good adaptation earlier today, and I think we're going to see some great games today. The zip rails making third parties so easily available. Some teams running Valkyrie are going to have a better chance of getting into the zone, whereas teams that don't run Valkyrie might get stuck in those choke points. There's a lot of like high to low ground choke points that are hard to get through on Broken Moon as well. I don't know if we've talked about that, but we've seen teams die going into backup Atmo earlier today in the choke point. I think it was TXC, if I'm not mistaken. They ended up taking a fight. They tried getting back, but they ended up getting pinched from behind. But anyways, if you've seen that, you know what I'm talking about. If not, well, we're going to be jumping into the game soon.
Yeah, you haven't seen it. It's worth going and watching it. There was, one team won 3 games in a row, and it was a sight to see, I will say that. I think also one of the highest kill games I've ever seen inside of Apex. But there's a lot to talk about and really to dive into the map. I know we've talked about the rails, you were talking about some of the verticality that comes into play. Also, I just feel like the points of interest have much more structure and plan around how you can assault different sections of those points of interests and different pathing, not just behind the rails, just due to how the terrain is lined up. It seems like it allows for much more efficient pathing options instead of always having to rely on that Wraith portal or anything else like that. You can find some walk paths just to get in the points that you need to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. And something we didn't really get a touch about is the legends being played. There's so much diversity of legends being played lately in all tournaments around Apex Legends. We've seen Catalyst today. We've seen Gibby. We've seen Horizon. One of my favorite team comps that was one that I played yesterday in ranked was Pathfinder, Seer, and Bloodhound. But I don't think it would work in a really sweaty lobby like this.
You never know. Bring it out, have some fun with it. That's not going to happen in Game 1. Game 1 is always let's just dip our toes in the water and get a feel for what's all going to be happening inside this lobby. Maybe we'll see something fun around Game 3.
Hey, we're about to find out as the players load in. We're going to be watching which legend that they select. We're going to be seeing our favorite teams roll in as well. And here you have it. Everyone loading in. Okay, right off the bat, it's Bangalore. Bangalore, Horizon on... I was telling you about Horizon. A lot of Horizons.
It's so strong. Oh, hey, is that a Newcastle?
Yes,
Over there
it
on the
is.
hydrants. Ooh,
High Precision's running Newcastle for sure. Oh, and in Newcastle on Team Bro as well.
This is kind of surprising, seeing some fun coming out there. We got Noctane over there with Call Me Bot TV. I know you're like into this like super like strong whatever the meta things. I'm like, ooh, a new shiny toy to play with whenever I see something that we don't normally see. So I'll have to see how it all stacks up. As it looks like we're getting ready to jump into the map.
My shiny toy is Pathfinder. I thought I saw at least 3 Pathfinders, so definitely hoping that they do well in today's tournament. Prove that Pathfinder is viable, or maybe prove that Pathfinder needs a buff. We all want a Pathfinder buff around here. I mean, us Pathfinder mains anyways. But here comes the drop. So the drop is really important. We're talking about this. You need a safe drop, or you can take a 50-50 as long as you're strong and confident enough that you're going to win it. Hakeem Sterling weren't earlier today against We Don't Play. And let's take a look and see. I think 50-50s tend to happen near the end of the dropship because nobody knows where they want to go. We've got 2 or 3 teams core. I believe 2. Could tighten this.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to cultivation. We're also getting some up in the north, like you're talking about around core. So we might have a couple of hot drops, but one of those, is, I believe, got fake Freds in it.
Wow. So we've got a 50-50 in cultivation. We have 3 teams in core, and here comes the battle. BNB, believe, taking the first knock against Titanus. But they do have to be careful because it is actually 3 teams inbound. They take the quick knock, the quick thirst, but ADMP is in a little bit of trouble.
BNB there, you can see the instantly drop did manage to get at least some type of shield going, as well as finding meds. This fast, that is going to be very, very helpful in these fights, especially with the 3 teams that are going to be stacked into here. It's going to be a lot of attrition in the earlier stages. How much did you manage to pick up as these fights are starting to brew? So I love BNB stepping back, slowing down the tempo, making sure that they can get themselves into the right spots, because every single heal is going to be ridiculously vital moving into this.
And it looks like the Hydras want a piece of this battle as well. They want some early kill points, and this is why they decided to contest the other 2 teams landing in core. Titanus is kind of going into the back, maybe towards Breaker Wharf, while this fight breaks out inside of core. No knocks just yet, but some very good damage.
Yeah, now trying to get the setup. Looks like BNB is trying to move around. This one, we did see the other team that was over there with Mac and TTN. They are going to shift over to the northwest. So it looks like BNB, realizing the fact that they have the push capabilities and already sitting on blues, gets a lot of damage into one of the members on the opposite side of it, and this high ground advantage is going to give a ton of vision. Easy knock being lined up right there.
It was a quick trade there, but Dynasty actually managed to make the fight inside of their favor, and they get the full team wipe on the Hydras. He scanned. Did you notice that? He scanned right before he went for the revive, just in case another team was coming. But then he pulled off that quick revive. It was great by Awope to take the high ground there in that fight. And it was 4 kills already. They're leading the pack. They're definitely leading this lobby, as far as I know. And that's going to be a great start. I think Titanus actually got the revive in Breaker Wharf, if I'm not mistaken. They did. They got the revive in Breaker Wharf, and they're just going to reset and come back. They have a few seconds to make it into zone. If not, they can craft med kits and loot up a little bit slower. But hey, Titanus, they gave away 1 kill point, but they're still in it. Whereas the Hydras, they gave away 3 kill points, and they're one of the first teams eliminated.
Do you want to give you guys a heads up? I thought that I saw fake Preds that were jumping into that area. They ended up going into Terraformer instead. There was so many names over there. It was all just seeing the colors that were stacked up on top of each other. The rest of the map looks like it has calmed down by quite a bit. Everything's kind of chilled out right now. No directed fights. There might be one up in the northeast kind of brewing up there, but it looks like Moss is trying to get away from that area. So I don't think that that'll be any big firefight that could be happening, unless maybe Mercenary does look like TRK might be trying to push this one.
Does Rollers MX have their eyes on someone as well? Not 100% sure. Yes, it looks like they did, but it seems like they're prioritizing the rotation as of now. They've got triple blue armors. They've got all of their ultimates on hand, but no one nearby anymore for them to take this fight upon. So they're just going to travel across the land and, maybe camp outside for a few days until they get to that end zone.
It does look like they almost managed to get away. They're right up against the zone wall, though, so as the ring is closing in. That could be some problems for them to keep an eye on, as they're going to be coming in right back behind the Rollers and our TRK duo that is lined up over there. A lot of just slow roll coming into this one. I do want to point out that we also have Dr. Steez and Dreamer making a rail ride all the way over to Breaker, which is going to put them next to Dynastied. The rest of B&B that we just saw a second ago, as well as TTN. So some very interesting pathing coming out in the early game.
All right, in the Alpha base, there could be a potential fight as Rollers MX are swinging nearby there. But like I said, the zone's going to pull in and everyone's going to make their way into it. B&B's nearby, so if a fight ensues in Alpha base, they will 100% hear it and potentially rotate towards them. But as of now, the map is calm. No one's fighting. Everyone's rotating and looting.
I like it. We're going to keep it rotating. I like it.
I think I created a new word just now.
Created words are the best words. It does look like Rollers might have some friends depending on how this pathing comes in. They're kind of taking their time, and that means the fact that they do have Demos that's coming in. Yep, we're going to start getting some vision onto this one. See if we can get some airtime. And you can see it's starting to also get B&B's attention. They're moving into this, and they're going to third party.
No, I called it. B&B is definitely going to hear the fight in Alpha base ensue. So Rollers MX, Bloodhound is going to pop ultimate. He's going to be able to spot the other team nearby, and that's it. There's the pings. 2 teams nearby. We cannot full commit. We cannot go down. We got to prioritize our life. That's normally what goes on when you have 2 teams nearby. Yesterday, I was getting third party. We got to run. We got to run. And my teammate closed the door on me. I almost died there in that situation. But fortunately for them, there's no doors nearby. Deimos is actually going to get knocked by BNB. It looks like they're going to try and get this thirst. Newcastle, though, it's going to be hard to push. They saw Rollers MX leave, so they're going to take advantage of the knock that they have and eliminate Bro altogether. That's a few more kills. Seer Ultimate coming through in case the other team, Rollers MX, come back, which they did. They came back.
Sneaking back into this one, trying to get more aggressive, but there's not a lot that's happened to B&B yet. Really, it's just the ring that's doing the most damage into this. We are a pretty decent chunk away from this one, so these fights do need to finish kind of quickly. You can see everybody's just starting to prep their heals on ADMP as well as Wape, both getting prepped up, perfectly timed into this, so that way you can just look around the corner and take the spray. That was just beautifully set up, but is going to be Wape going down.
Wape ended up getting flanked there. That was a really good flank, but unfortunately they weren't able to prolong the fight long enough for Dynasty to have to medkit, to have to heal before they ended up dying. So Rollers MX, one of the first teams eliminated. B&B are on a killing spree, though. Take a look at that. Over 7 kills to their name. They've been fighting since the very beginning. And they're not too worried about the rotation. They have 6 death boxes to loot, so they're going to have plenty of meds to be able to make it in. Hopefully, the other teams were carrying some syringes at least.
Looking through, man, B&B is going to have a long run. The circle did go down near cultivation, so that means that they're going to have to hoof it in the ring for a little while. Once they make it into safe zone, it's going to be a full-on sprint all the way across. Jumping in with fake Preds, you can see that they're navigating the areas just right to the east of the new circle it's going to be popping. They do have a team that is going to be coming back and behind them, but this is a very strong approach, specifically using that outer wall to come into this. They have a little bit of a recess that they can play into, as well as going out and scouting a good vision into what's happening inside of cultivation.
And there might actually be a fight starting to brew in cultivation, while another fight is actually happening in the foundry. So take a look at the bottom part of your map. Southwest, you got a 3v3 potential happening down there with TPK Cypher, and then we also have 2 teams in cultivation in the middle. Titanus are back and healthy, made a nice rotation in. Axolotl are in that one fight that I was talking about with the R301. He's going to take gravity lift. It looks like Afterdive is going to go up. Is he going to get beamed as he goes up, or is he going to be able to help his teammate? This is a very good shot, very nice angle, and that is why he took the gravity lift. TPK eliminated, and the points go to Axolotl. But take a look at this. They're getting third-partied by, guess who? Fake Preds.
Jumping in, realizing the opportunity already, hitting directly past the shields. Now going to start being careful with it. Doing the bounce around, now seeing how they're going to make the approach, just leaning into the high ground. Throwable's now going to be coming out on both sides of this one, so Fake Pred's taking near on no damage so far. Finally, Route getting his shield knocked down, but See Daniel already playing up in front of this one. Woko got to be careful though as well. Axel doing a good job on holding this together, even though After Die is down. Namus also going to go down with this one, and so now it looks like the fight is turning. There was a cost for it. How much can the dance go through? Doing a good job of getting the spray out of this one. Not going down just quite yet. Cannot find any vision inside the smokes, though. Now being hunted down from behind. Axolotl is going to go down.
Oh man, that third party was quick by Fake Breads, and take a look at that. Route survives with 1 HP and a little bit of an armor swap. Wako's actually going to get thirsted. It is Dr. Magic making his way in here, and take a look at this. Logie taking down Daniel Spams, and this might be the end of Fake Breads CPT as a duo going in. Dr. Magic, last one remaining for his squad, and I believe they might be getting third partied by guess who Titanus?
Everybody's wanting to get involved in what's happening right now. Making the throwdown. You got to give respect to the duo trying to use this opportunity. Good spray coming out from Titanus, making sure that they can get through this. So now it's just about CPT getting eliminated. Controls now come down. There was another team with Lucy looking over here, but I think finally we're going to see some calm.
Oh my goodness, fight after fight after fight. What is so special about that building? What is everyone looking for inside of it? Is there treasure that we don't know about? Like, why did 5 teams end up fighting there? The zone doesn't even end there, but hey, everyone's just dying for those kills, and literally dying for those kills.
Look, it's the treasure you can make, right? It's the treasure and the friends that we had along the way, because there's like, what? I want to say 10 crates that are now over there. Hey, who needs to loot? You just got to go over to that location after everybody's been murdered.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a treasure hunt where, hey, the treasure are the people that went for the treasure hunt. Oh my god, that could be like a movie or something. I think we're on to something here. But anyways, back to B&B. They got 1 million kills, and he finally scouted out that Mirage there. He hit a couple decoys, got a little bit of a bamboozled, but new team was eliminated. And now we're down to 4.
4 squads at this stage. Cultivation can be kind of open, but really it's already kind of lined up. Most teams already know where the situation is accruing from. It looks like we do also have B&B kind of eyeing around this area. They should have a pretty good idea on what's going to be going on, as they've got Dinosaur Venom and his crew just to the south of this one, with Black Mambo looking in. But it's going to be Fat Rip, the rest of the team coming in back in the south. And so with this, Outsiders needs to be pretty careful, as they could find themselves pinched, as yes, both teams look like they have their sights set on this location.
All right, we've got the 4 squads, 3 of them in that cultivation area, as you're talking about. And then we have Titanus, kind of on the southwest, all on their own. ADMP is going to start off the fight, taking down Packers with the car SMG. Dinosaur Venom, hey, we're not going to go for that revive. We're going to play Head Glitch. We're going to play Far. We're going to play Life. ADM, he's gone.
But they're charging directly into TTN, and so now they have to be very, very careful. They found themselves out in the open, so B&B just coming in with authority just takes over this real estate near on 3. Now getting an idea on what's going on. Good spray, 145 to kick that one off. B&B is just about to start raining hell on all of the teams around them.
My goodness, Awope doesn't miss a shot. These beams are straight. I wish I could shoot like him. 1000%. He's going to get the scan down underneath. He was going to go get that thirst, but hey, he found someone looking to revive. Yeah, you're not going to get the revive. Packers is my kill, and I'm going to make sure I thirst him.
Now the commitment's coming into the south, as it looks like more information has come in. B&B starting to regroup to see if how they're going to set up for their assault into this one, as we have had a foothold already be established inside, but you know B&B doesn't care about that. Already starting to get the sprays and set up, trying to set up a firm defensive line as they walk together, and they're just spotting out everything. They don't care about smokes or vision, just inflicting massive amount of casualties, and that's going to be high precision getting eliminated.
It was really important for Dynasty to stay alive there, and he did. Because if he did go down, they might have ended up getting third-partied. They had a strong start. They landed on 2 other teams, survived them both, and now they're having a strong finish. This is a really big game for them. Now, it's all up to, can they get this win? Can they eliminate Titanus and Dinosaur Venom and Black Mamba? That is the question that we're all waiting for. Yeah.
Titanus has got a lot of control, so with this, I think that we just saw Packers get resituated. Yep. So he should be coming into near on no loot to be had, but we'll see how that situation is going to go, and that's going to be B&B spotting this out. They're going to go ahead and try to pounce onto this one, but I don't know if they've got good, clean vision on Packers just yet. Oh, he's taking too long to loot. This could be bad if he doesn't regroup fast enough.
B&B want a piece of this pie. I don't know what kind of pie it is, but they're taking angles. Owope is taking a very far and potentially dangerous angle if they all get a reset and focus him out. But actually, he has a nice little head glitch here. He's safe. He is getting shot at by the Sentinel. Dynasty was able to recover, regroup with his teammate, and this is looking like a push. Packers is very low.
Watch out, though. We do have TTN that looks like they're trying to flank in back behind this. So while B&B is making the push into Assault, TTN is going to be coming in right back behind them. So B&B has got to be careful. This aggression could come back to cost them. Quick regroup coming out. As you can see, that's going to be TTN shooting in just down the hallway. They've got control over both sides of this. So both teams now compressed inside of this compound, and it's going to be TTN that is shooting fish at a barrel down this hallway.
Yes, Chris was actually the first person to die, but hey, Chris is the first person to get the entry at the end. Can Mac survive this? Mac is going to actually end up getting pushed, and Titanus is the champion. That was cool. That was a quick ending.
That was a fast game overall. I mean, I was kind of astounded. North America is not coming to chill out. They got goals, and they want to finish these games quick. TTN played it clean, won two big firefights. Actually, won the two big firefights inside that game.
Yeah, well, they had a great recovery. They stayed consistent throughout. They may have not gotten as many kills as B&B, of course, because B&B was running all over that map. But they ended up getting the dub, which is going to make a significant impact throughout their day, their vibes, their hype, and their energy, but also with the leaderboard as well.
So looking in, we're not even going to take a break. We're going to be moving into the next game in just 1 second. So there was a lot of just early game aggression. Specifically, we also saw it happening outside and in the ring. Is this the trend? Do you think that's going to be continuing through the day, or do you think that that was just an attempt to try to get some early points just as they were kind of presenting themselves?
I think from prior tournaments that we've had here in the Masters Circuit, Fake Preds ends up getting a lot of points because they end up getting a lot of kills. So I think to make up for that, I'm not 100% sure, but if it were my guess, these teams are trying to get as many kills as they can so they don't fall behind later on and allow other teams to take those kills away from them. They've been practicing over the weeks, I'm sure, and they've just gotten so much better at team fighting. As you can see, B&B is doing a great job. They did a great job last week, but you can tell that they want the win out this week, and they took those fights in zone like you asked, and I don't know if that's going to be the norm here. I don't know. I wouldn't really want to fight in zone, but hey, this building was hectic.
This was the party, man. This is where everybody was having some fun. I love the assault from Axolotl not relenting on this one, making sure to follow it up. Good read on reposition as well. Just a clean polish off, but just those couple of seconds of having to go airborne is what led to all of the mess that followed it up. As it was everyone, even a duo, getting involved in this fight.
Yeah, CPT was trying to take advantage of that, and I mean, they did, but unfortunately, they did not expect another team. You know, once you're that fourth party, did you really expect the fifth party to come? But hey, that was Titanus coming, and that was a really good third party as well, because Titanus ended up getting all that loot, and they managed to get that win. And that's something you got to consider. They took a lot of space. They did really well. B&B, I don't think, expected this amount of aggression from Titanus, but that's what you need to do when you're in a 3 versus 3 at the end. The team that plays more passive normally ends up losing, in my opinion.
Yeah, Titanus, I thought, had a beautiful read in that. They made a full line assault coming in from that southwestern angle where they had control. They realized where all the teams were fighting at, saw how the push was coming in from B&B, and then just went and collapsed both sides of the compound. It was just clean and clinical. They understood exactly what they needed to do to win and executed it perfectly. Well, almost perfect.
What I noticed there was everyone on that team had 20% or higher in accuracy, so it begs for me to ask, does NA have better accuracy than EU? That's something I can't wait till we get World Finals or something someday, maybe in the future. But hey, this is B&B at 29 points, Titanus at 20 points, and then take a look at everyone else less than 10 points. They're all very close together.
Already kicking this one off with two favorites to move through. And girls, you're just coming out with no chill today. Just like, I got this. I want to see who's the better region, how this is all going to stack up. North America, I mean, you got to. Can North America put up a 23 kill? You talked about the fact that the 23 kill victory. You talked about the fact of how close and compacted it is here. Well, we just saw a 29 and a 20 in one game.
Yeah, it's unusual, but it is game one, right? We got to give them a few games to, iron out the kinks and get better as a team. It was a 23 kill, but that wasn't a 23 kill game. That was a 20-some point game. There's a difference.
Okay. I thought it was like a 23 kill with a 12 points. It was something massive. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been 6 games ago at this point, and my poor plebeian brain can't keep up with who did what from that long ago. It was a whole continent away. But we are trying to get everything set up. As it does look like we're seeing some favorites come in, as well as I got to say, TTN has been a team that I've really enjoyed to watch, specifically a growth pattern coming out from them. As a lot of the usual suspects tend to be drawing attention of, like it's Fake Preds, BNB, TTN has been finding more and more opportunities and been executing fights a lot cleaner. It feels like every single week they're growing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't wait to see the result of the outcome in this tournament today. I mean, they've always been a strong team. It was just that there were stronger teams around them. So it was really took away the limelight from them. But today, hey, they're taking it by storm. They're taking a game one victory. I mean, Fake Preds, you saw them. They were at like 5 points. Rollers MX, they definitely could have had a better game. BNB, they've always been up there, right? We know that they're capable of it, and they did manage to take a fair amount of the kills in that lobby here today. But yeah, like you said, Titanus, keep an eye on them. They're a formidable team.
They're getting to that point where they're the sneaky, I wouldn't say underdogs because you're expecting them to win in some fashion now. It's just they're the ones that sometimes don't draw your eye, and that means the fact that they can be a team that can completely disrupt a game. You don't always have to play flashy. You just have to play to win, and they're a team that understands that. Now, our flashier teams did walk away with a ton of kills, though. Let's not ignore that. So as we move through, you mentioned it earlier, making sure that you keep the pedal to the metal and constantly trying to pick up those kills, that's going to be what propels you in. So that way, whenever you do even have a bad game, at least maybe the kills from the earlier section of it don't make it absolutely terrible. Because we can often see teams that get like first, second, third, now they go, okay, let's slow it down. Let's like hide out in the ring for a while. Let's not try to take the edge fights, and let's just try to play for late game. And that almost always seems to be a recipe for disaster.
We have to keep an eye out for Titanus and BNB this time around because they did contest the same POI. They contested core together with one other team, but it seemed like Titanus was happy with Breaker Wharf as they went along their merry way and got the revive on Chris. Will they give up core or will they try and contest that again? That's a huge question in my mind. I feel like BNB kind of won the contest, right? They killed one member of Titanus. They killed another team there. So I feel like they're going to be fairly confident in going back, but there is no reason to contest when you don't even have a full IV, when you can have room in other POIs to take and, eliminate a little bit of that RNG. I feel like there's no reason to, especially Titanus. They won. They recovered. They took Breaker Wharf and they came back and won. So it doesn't seem like there's a necessity to it, but hey, BNB had so many kills, you might want to eliminate your opponents, kind of like your coaching earlier today. You said it yourself. If you want to win, just take out who's above you with that 50-50.
Battle Royales are all about establishing risk and reward. It's one of the things that we don't often get a chance to really deep dive into because yes, there is massive upswing in taking huge risks, but if it backfires, that means that you could potentially screw yourself out of a tournament. But if you can pull it off, you can jump from last place all the way up to, third, something like that, or fifth inside of one game. So never, ever take your eyes off of somebody that is hungry, because while we talk about these teams that are at the top, we're constantly mentioning these top 3. The other ones means the fact that they can just decide to throw some curveballs into it. It's always the rat that you don't expect that turns your team fight the bad way.
Yeah, we actually had a lot of rats earlier today, but we haven't yet to see too many here in the NA region. Everyone's sticking together, everyone's dying together, or they're winning together. So definitely a lot more tight gameplay here in Broken Moon in the NA region. And I'm not sure how well the Pathfinders did in our last game, but I'm excited to see them play in the next one. Are you enjoying the Broken Moon gameplay?
Yes. A symptom of the last game with it being a far southern shift and that southwestern shift means the fact that I think that's probably one of the reasons we did see that ring fighting that I was thinking. I asked that question earlier and I was just pondering it the whole time. I think it might be a circumstance of the circle, but we'll have to keep an eye out. I do want to see more of the northwest, though. It feels like we're getting a lot of pulls that are going southwest and kind of that northeastern area. It feels like that just kind of how the map likes to pull. I would love to see some of the more like centralized POIs just to get a flavor of how that's all going to go.
Yeah, core is pretty hard to fight around for the end zones over there. Breaker Wharf, I don't feel like I've seen one end there in a long time, but really like the production yard end zones. You have those layers in the building, you got downstairs, you got the roof, you got so many places to play around and you could potentially pinch. Those are definitely some tough end zones as well.
I just also really like the names for the POIs here. I know that's a stupid thing to say, but there's just something about it. Like, Atmo Station is just fun to say. So it's like, while you're playing stuff, it's like, yeah, we got to go push Atmo Station. It's like, yeah. I don't know. It just brings us, like, everything about it. Like, Cultivation, Foundry, looking through on the map over here. Like, even the Divide. Eternal Gardens? Come on, okay, I'm going to say something that might give me fine. That's a badass name. I like it.
No, it is an amazing name. And just to interrupt you a little bit, this is our overall elimination and damage leaders. So Dynastied from BMB, he's got himself 7 eliminations and 1947 total damage leader in the whole entire lobby, and that's over these 2 games.
It is astounding. If you look at this, what B&B's Dynastied has almost a full team's worth of damage. Looking through, if, let's say, following it up is going to be TTN, that's 700, 1400, and then down at the bottom of it, Max got, let's just say 700. So yeah, he's just about 150 short of being able to be a whole team by himself in damage. Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, Titanus, they don't have as much damage as B&B, but they did manage to take home that win, which is great. LF Logies, CPT, they were playing as a duo, and Logies up there in the top 6, so that's really incredible coming in from him, because they ended up taking that third party or fourth party that we saw earlier and ended up seeing them die to Titanus.
Just giving everybody a heads up. Yes, I know we're doing a little bit of an Apex podcast about what's going to be going on. We are waiting for some of the players to get finalized. So that's one of the things whenever we're doing this style of event, specifically moving through on the community stages, trying to like bring in some new talent. Sometimes it takes a little while to like wrangle them all up to get them into the right spots, or there might be a technical issue on their side. But it looks like we have managed to finally get everything situated. So girl, let's go ahead and start getting everything prepped for that next game.
All right.
I don't know what this was whenever I did this. But I guess this is walking to the next game. We'll have to see as...
We're walking to the next game.
Okay. We did see some variations in Legends, though. Do you think that that's going to continue? Did we see success with those, or is it going to be more back to the basics?
Honestly, I think any Legend could work. From taking a look at last game, I feel like a lot of Legend compositions ended up working out. It's just about which fights you take from what I see, and it's like, yes, you take this fight, you take this third party, but does it come out clean? If you get one knocked, you might end up getting third partied. And that's the thing about Broken Moon, is there's so many third parties, and we saw it in our first game. Everyone's hungry for blood. Can that change? Yes, because half of those teams might have learned their lesson not to fight early and start to play zone. But you know what? The bottom teams on the leaderboard are going to want to catch up as well, so it could go 50-50.
See, I think you sold me on the map. That's one of the reasons I like it so much, is I hadn't realized it is so easy to execute clean third parties. Again, due to the terrain that we were talking about beforehand, just the pathing, the rails, the way that the cliff facings all line up into each other allow for a lot of very interesting maneuverability to come out for it. And so, yeah, I think that you might have just sold me on this for competitive and why I enjoy it so much.
And there's a whole background where the developers actually came out and talked about their development of this, the naming of the areas, and kind of their purpose. Because Broken Moon is like, they have like all the history about it, and hey, cultivation is made so that, you know, we could feed everyone on the moon. Or there's the Atmo station to, you know, provide water and energy. Or what was it, Foundry? I think Foundry is where they collect the rocks from the space. I'm not 100% sure, but, you know, Apex Legends did release a kind of like documentary type, a little podcast type of video right before this map came out. I can't remember all the facts by hand. I'm not a history book, but there is a story for each and every POI, and I know you're quite interested in that, so that's pretty awesome. We're going to see a 50-50 going in Terraformer off the bat. Fake Breads are going to get into that 50-50. You can see it on our screen now. The shots are going to come through. Every scout shot is going to connect, and it looks like we're going to see our first team elimination in our game 2.
Man, that was just, hey, get out of here. You don't come back anymore. That's the way that those shots connected. That was just so clean. And going back to what you're saying, yeah, I'm a sucker for lore, especially the Apex lore. Like all of their videos, like regarding like the history of characters and stuff like that, I have just enjoyed every single one of them. I think it's one of the neat things about this game is the fact that there's some, it's not just run around shooty bang bang, is the fact that there is actually something going on behind the scenes.
They put a purpose behind everything that they do. One thing I really liked when Olympus first came out was seeing all of the renewable energy all around the map. I took a bit of like renewable energy lessons in college, so it really like gave me an appreciation, like a different appreciation for this game. I already love the gameplay, right? Here casting it and playing it every day, but yeah, it's really cool to see what they put into the legend background and the map background and the overall story.
I think they can see you there, Lucy. I don't know.
Oh wait. Oh my, that's a really nice rat spot.
Yeah, no, that's pretty sneaky. Like you can tell, like trying out. Okay, what about this one over here? What about this? Can I get up on? Oh, you can tell. Are you trying to get on top of that? Like, I guess deer head? I don't know.
It works.
Oh, I love this. This is the sneakiest of spots. Like, this is not an area your eyes would be drawn to unless you're coming in on that second story.
Or if you have a seer or a bloodhound, you might catch it. But, you know, you just got to run your luck sometimes. I know these buildings here, I remember the developers talking about it, how it brings, like, from Sears World, it kind of brings a lot of the homey attributes and the artwork and everything like that, so that the people living and working on Broken Moon can have a comfortable area to live. So I really like that aspect of hearing the developers talk about that area, those buildings in particular.
Also do want to give a point out to Lucy, pretty close to the center of the circle as well, so might be able to hold down that rat spot for quite a while. They do have Jay Silent and the rest of the team that's going to be moving in from the east, as well as Lily Tay and Call Me Bot's team that is going to be just to the northwest of them. Why we were watching a rat for so long is because it's a slow roll in this game. Not a lot really going on. There's potentially something that could be brewing over the next couple of seconds around cultivation and armory, and by seconds I mean like maybe a minute or so, depending on how we see Afterdive path into this. It looks like Zephyr and Nightmare might be trying to hold this down of some type. Maybe they're trying to gatekeep out. We'll have to keep an eye on how this develops.
Another thing I just remembered is the developers kind of tried giving a heaven and hell vibe to the map. So you can see like in Breaker Wharf, there's not too much color. It looks really, you know, bleak and sad looking. And then you change over to Eternal Gardens and it's the most beautiful thing with the paint, what do you call that? The glass windows? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, stained glass. The beautiful stained glass where the balloon is. Oh my God, it's so pretty. Yeah. And the bushes with the little pigs or and all that artwork. I mean, it's just so beautiful. It's such a contrast on this map. So some areas you're gonna feel like really good vibes from, and some areas you're gonna be like, oh my God, I want to get out of here.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and look at the lighting choices in different areas and see if it like one of them has like more of a blue happy tone and one of them's got more like a red darker tone. Because as I've walked through the map, I've
Yes.
noticed the fact that some of the lighting is different. I wonder if that's maybe the idea behind it. New team was eliminated, as you can see in the kill feed, as it's going to be TTN that does manage to pick up some of those early kills we were talking about, and looks like we are starting to get the brew of a fight happening. As Lucy still doing Lucy things.
That is such a pretty angle, everyone. Shout out to the observers for catching that angle and catching that frame for Lucy there. That's incredible and amazing. But hey, take a look at Rollers MX. They're actually going to be fighting BNB. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it looks like we also might have a second team, as it is going to be Zephyr and Nightmare that also move into this. This has become a pretty big party for it. So Rollers MX going to be on the outside of this one, trying to fight their way through. Smokes are going to be coming down around this. So we'll have to see how we see the movement coming out, as it looks like Nightmare might be moving away from this into the north, but TTN is also coming down to the south. So this has just got a recipe for bad for a lot of these teams. I think that's one of the reasons why we're starting to see a step away, at least after Die and the rest of his team are now moving to the south, just getting out of this.
I made a little bit of a mistake. Titanus was fighting BMB. This is Rollers MX fighting TPK and AXG. But anyways, the fight didn't ensue. Titanus and BMB both end up staying alive, and these teams on the south also end up staying alive for now, might I add. And then on the northeast of the zone, there are about 5 to 6 teams compacted here, and they are going to be fighting. Daniel Spam's not going to be looking too good as he goes down to about half health. It's Route having to pop a shield battery too. They're not in a great spot, but Curiosity does go down. Wako gets that first knock.
Big Pred still trying to make the push around into this area. This has turned into a very large fight, as a lot of the teams are realizing what could be going on over here. So with this, Big Preds has got to watch themselves. They're the northernmost team, but there is going to be at least 3 other teams that are moving into this area, as well as Black Mamba. Their squad is kind of close and could listen in on this. So Fake Preds has got to figure out how they're going to want to navigate through, as there is going to be a lot of hurdles, at least trying to get around this gardens area.
If I were one of these teams, I wouldn't even want to be involved right now. There are just way too many teams grouped up here. I don't know why everyone is on the side of the map. Maybe they hit beacon scan and it is pulling over here towards the northeast. As you said, there's a lot of end zones towards this area. TPK Ghost, not feeling too happy about this thirst, but the great thing about dying inside Storm is this team probably most likely won't banner camp, but they will loot up your box until they end up leaving towards the zone.
Rollers has got a ways to go, as this ring is about to close in. CPT now making the throwables, going for the push, and you can see taking a face full of damage, having to step away from it. And this is the chaos that is just going to break down over here in this area. So it's starting to get more impact. A couple of teams now starting to pull away from it, but CPT is just taking a ton of damage. You can see Magic now having to step away from it. Logie also had to move out, just try to get some more meds. Curiosity is at least around, trying to provide some support, but you can see very minimal cover, so it's all about just run, gun, try to get away, as Toaster seems to have a good read on how they're positioning.
Yeah, wow, Call Me Bot was in a perfect position to be able to kill them on the cross, and that CPT eliminated. Like you were talking about, they all ended up dying. Toaster did a great job figuring out where they ended up wanting to go and taking those angles to cross on their path. But they do have another team nearby that they have to encounter, potentially. You know, don't. They're in a great spot position-wise that they don't have to take this 50-50. There are other teams nearby. They are also on the low ground, so it is a tough one to, you know, close the gap, close the distance. We talk about it all the time. It is tough, but Bot is actually taking these angles and looking with that sniper's mark.
Slow roll around this one. Also, shout out to Lucy, who's being hunted by TTN. That might not be too much longer, so we'll have to keep an eye on the kill feed for that one. Toaster, though, still maintaining control over this area. They've got to be careful. They're another team, so this is going to have the potential for a 3-way if they're not careful. So, yep, stepping away from it. Toaster realizing what's going to be happening and says, okay, maybe let's get back into cover. Being out in the open is a little risky at this point.
I don't think I've ever seen a caster shout out someone getting hunted, but that was really awesome to hear. Call Me Bot. Oh, he's going to actually end up getting flanked. He's going to need help. He's on 1 HP, but he's actually going to go for these shots. He does a great amount of damage before he dies. Look at his team end up cleaning this one out for him.
That was a play and a half to try to make that together. Toaster now having to try to regroup. It's going to be Lily Tate coming in. Got plugs with him as well. So slow roll. Go ahead and get reposition onto this one. Now the pacing has slowed down as it is going to be Deimos that is going to the north, as well as the other teams just still kind of eyeing. Everybody's got their eyes set in this general vicinity as, yep, there you go. It's going to be TTN coming in from the north, now having finished their hunt.
Oh, did Lucy end up going down?
I believe so.
Oh, no. Effing chat for Lucy. If you're in the Twitch chat, definitely give Lucy some love for doing their best. Making that top 10, though. Few placement points, nonetheless. Toaster making that quick recovery. They still have one team around them. TTN on one side of the map. Maybe going to be cutting off Fake Preds later on. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Toaster doing as much damage as possible. Look, if I had 400 late ammo, I'd be trying to shoot it too. I'd be trying to shoot my R301 all of the time.
Just try to get what you can. Rollers, though, have bumped into B and B, so now I'm going to reset right on the edge of the zone, and this is starting to turn a little bit more problematic as it goes. Trying to get the door open. Can they sneak this res through? Mercenary's doing a good job on distracting on the opposite side of this. So now with the micro drones out, maybe use the shield for some protection. Are they going to try to stop the res on the opposite side of it? Looks like the aggression is going to be what they're going for. It's going to be near on no vision, trying to go for the shots inside the smokes. That's going to be another member down. Now Rollers with just one up in Mercenary. He's got to try to find his way through this one, and he's going to go down right next to his friends.
That's got to be the worst feeling. You know you have a knock, you want to push up, you don't have a digi-threat, and then that team just comes and stomps all over you. Unfortunate for Rollers MX, but here we have on the other side Fake Preds getting pressured here on the edge of zone. What did I tell you? Titanus might gatekeep them, and they did in fact gatekeep them. Fake Preds is going to have to run all the way around through Storm. They could potentially make it. Wako must have gotten knocked in the process. Yep, Wako is going to get thirsted. Chris, oh my goodness, the team ended up pushing through the Storm. That might have been unexpected, but Route eliminated as well. And Daniel Spams, he did not stop. He did not stop to take one deep breath. He's going to continue moving, running for his life, and hopefully making it into this zone with no other team crossing his way.
Oh, but he's passing through Eternal Gardens. We've been seeing how many teams have been playing over here. He might just take the rail all the way around. I wouldn't be surprised if he just kind of wants to avoid the fight and come in from the south, and that looks like what he's going to do. Go ahead and eat the ring damage on it. Well, no, maybe. Just hide in this little cubby for a second.
I think he's planning on it. It's just that he wants to heal up before he goes around that mountain, which is a good play.
I do also like TTN making the push out. Again, do the risk-reward analysis. Figure out, okay, is it worth? And hey, yeah, if you've got a weakened team that you know is going to be contending at the top of the leaderboard, exploit it because it becomes an opportunity for you to climb.
Absolutely, 100%. Risk versus reward, and they've been taking those risks and they've been racking up those rewards. I mean, I'd be taking them to an arcade any day of the week. They're doing great. Here we have a Toaster taking a look at a squad nearby. They're always playing aggressive. I really like the play style of a Toaster. They're very confident. They're scanning around, making sure nobody's around, and then potentially going to push if they get enough damage. But it's a Watson team. It's going to be very hard to infiltrate this building in particular.
Yeah, that's near on a fortress at this stage. Have fun trying to make a push around into what's going to be going on over here. To the north, TTN does look like they're bumping into B and B. Then down to the south, it looks like we have Call Me Bot and Crew is going to be bumping into After Die. So this is going to be a quick push. Looks like After Die and his team are making the play around this one. So with the repositions coming out from Toaster, looks like they're trying to just reposition. They have to be careful because, like Mump and the rest of the team might get some vision if they step too much further around that cliff facing.
Well, we're down to 6 squads remaining. Zone 3 is closing here shortly. Dinosaur Venom from across the map takes one down with a Sentinel. Okay, are they going to be able to push off that? They're quite far. Dinosaur Venom's on the team that had that building hunkered down, so that was an amazing shot coming in from him. I believe they're going to get this revive. Getting these pings off. Blue armor, R9 close range.
Oh,
Smoke
no.
comes through. No more digis. Like I said before, these Bangalore smokes are doing so good.
That's Daniel, though, so he's the last one up for his squad. He was trying to walk that way. Now with those shots, it's going to be Call Me Bot, the rest of the team coming in back behind, so Daniel's found himself pinched as a solo in between two different teams, and he's just trying to cling to life. Maybe some damage can shoo them away, but now if he moves, it's going to be back into Dinosaur Venom's sightline, and we just saw how much damage he was pumping out.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully Dinosaur Venom's in his comfy chair inside because Daniel does not want a piece of that Sentinel. You know how much damage that can do, but take a look at Daniel's secondary, RE45. He's going to be able to third party and maybe get some kills before he ends up going down to a full squad later on. And he found a spot in the zone. Might not be the best, but it is a spot. And he'll be surviving for now. On the other side of the map, very nice shots coming from Axolotl, doing a great job. Mid-air shots, but that thermite did so much damage. JSL is going to have to run to survive. Toaster cleaning it up. Once again, the damage is immaculate from this team. They're doing incredibly well with the confidence that they've had through this entire game. And they take Axolotl out, and they are going to be out at 6th place.
While this is going on, Daniel actually moved down to the south, realizing where the firefight was and hearing how the push was happening. So he shifted back into the softer side of the section of the circle, and now has to be careful because TTN is coming in back behind him, as you can see, but there's just nowhere else to really go at this point. He's going to go ahead and get the smokes down. Can he find himself another little cubby to hide in? This is going to be really difficult. I don't know. Yeah, no, there's just no spot that didn't have vision. So with this, though, B&B, here's what's going to be happening from Dinosaur Venom and his crew up entrenched in that high ground position. It looks like they might be trying to dethrone them.
All right, Black Mamba picking up that kill on Fake Prides. Very well done. A Toaster, do they have the high ground position on this team? Well, B&B, they don't really care about the Catalyst Wall, nor do they care about the Watson. I don't know why they're so aggressive. This is an ultra defensive team on the inside, but they are very confident to take them down.
Wow.
And Dinosaur Venom, Black Mamba, they go down in about one clip. ADMP, is this going to be a three-piece from him? He's going to go in with the R301. He's going to try and secure this last kill, but it might have gotten stolen. It did. It gotten stolen from Titanus Mac FB, but it was a great entry from BNB. I can't believe that they infiltrated the Watson Catalyst comp. That was smooth.
There was absolutely zero given inside of that one. That was just like, nope, we want this, so we're just taking it from you, and we don't care if you're there or not. So we're essentially looking at a triangle of destruction where there is near on no cover in the middle of all of it. So what people have right now is about all they're going to have. Is the circle is going to continue to press out and deny more and more safety that is going to be had. It does shift into the north, so that means that TTN is going to have the most difficult job in making this rotation.
Well, there are 3 sides to a circle. Wait.
Hey, it works. The math is there.
I thought that would be fun to say. You know, I could see the triangle in it. I could see the 3 sides to it.
Technically, aren't there 360 sides, so you are correct.
Yeah, there's a minimum of 3 sides to a circle. Yeah, 360. Perfect. Thanks for having my back. You're the best. And here we are, Titanus getting gate capped. The Toaster doesn't really want to let them in, not for free anyhow.
Looking out, yeah, this is really going to be hard for TTN. They do send Mac down to the south, as you can see that there is the other duo that's lined up, saying if maybe they can prod some type of weakness in. But remember that nice Dinosaur Venom entrenched position? That's still inside the circle, and now it has B&B holding it down, so... Oh, what do you do? Toaster on one side, B&B on the other, and TTN with no cover to be had.
Yeah, maybe B&B were aware that that building was going to be the best for this open area, for this open zone. Here's your favorite weapon, the bow check, being utilized by B&B as well.
Again. 2
It
games.
is back.
Look, if B&B is using it, then at some point I have done something right. And hey, with these distractions that have been set up, TTN has actually managed to get 2 of their members into the circle, but it's a risky spot that they're playing from, and as they continue to move forward, that just means the fact that Toaster is about to get vision on them as well. That area of cover that they have is very negligible, but good job on managing to get to it.
Honestly, their spot might actually be better than Toaster's spot at the moment. We're about to find out because everyone's got a situation. I don't know if Toaster's situation is that good. They actually might get angled out by Titanus. If I'm reading this zone correctly, they have good enough cover against B&B, so it's Toaster versus Titanus right now, and Toaster's getting angled by B&B as well. So it's going to be a 6 versus 3. Toaster's trying to come in. Do they have a safe spot? That is the question.
I mean, a river is the center point inside of this, and you can see it is just, how good are you at juking? That arrow just connects at a rough time. Toaster, what are you going to do is really... And TTN can't stretch out, but Toaster can't do too much. You can see every single time somebody's trying to go for a peek to figure out what's going to be happening near them, the threats are just, oh, so close, as it is just stacked up over here. Wow. TTN finished that one quick.
Take a look at this. A Wolfface, he's going to drop down ultimate, and he's going to be destroying that Horizon black hole. Great job for his team, but are they going to withstand the onslaught that Titanus is bringing with that damage? Chris doing such a great job. They're hitting on flesh here, and they're playing life immaculately.
This is so cleanly played. Coming in after taking down one squad, they're going to go ahead and take down the second one. So going from an area where they could have been picked apart on an approach to taking down both other teams, you got to give respect where respect is due.
Titanus just hit every shot in that situation. The distraction with the black hole, I don't know, it made them turn around, look towards their backs, and then they were able to close that distance and hit those shots. It's really hard to fight 3 versus 3 with one team in a gravity lift just getting beamed by all 3 members.
I mean, that is making the best of a bad situation, figuring it out. Again, just very, very difficult circle to handle, and played it so well. That's one of those ones I'm going to have to go back and really watch the map and see how they maneuvered through that one, because there was a couple of points where I thought that they could have gotten picked off, but they just, again, kept eyes up, realized where they needed to move, and found the exact right time to get there.
Well, they did it. They overcame adversity. They used this big rock, I feel like. It really helped them at the end and gave them an angle to shoot out a Toaster, and that really solidified it. But winning from the low ground was really good. I think they just outdamaged the mechanical skills of this team. Just ended up winning it for them. B&B, they did their best. They did a great job securing this building and getting through. I would have been pretty scared trying to push a Watson Catalyst team, but take a look at ADMP. Loses this last kill because Watson decides to jump outside of the window and die to a G7 scout out there, but Titanus with these angles. Oh, that was so beautiful.
Oh, that is just so well played. And look, pulls them apart in different directions on how they're coming through, and then the teammates exploit it. That is just so well done.
Chris takes about 10 damage and then gets behind the rock immediately. It's like, you know, luring them to look over in Chris's direction, but then plays it safe and doesn't end up dying. That was really beautifully played by all of them. 4 kills each.
Just a good 1-2 punch to finish that one out. So with this, where is TTN sitting at on the overall? Still pumping out lots and lots of damage. We saw them trying to climb up those damage charts just a second ago, and with this 2 games back-to-back for Titanus, they're going to be sitting pretty. Oh,
ooh,
maybe.
It's a tie.
Okay. 2 different approaches to play.
Right? One playing for more eliminations and one playing for more placement. So B&B and Titanus are currently tied for first place there, first and second, and then outsiders. We know we saw them play that very good building, but unfortunately they weren't able to hold it enough, but it's enough to get them in 3rd place. I wouldn't be too sad about that one. A Toaster, we've seen them playing aggressively, but they've only netted themselves 7 kills. And now I say only as they are the 3rd dominant kill leaders there, but a Toaster has been playing well. They just need to get a little bit higher placement to put themselves up in that 1st and 2nd place as well.
Starting to get there with that last game, and again, the very compacted leaderboard means the fact that 1 or 2 big fights for everybody that's not in the top 2 is going to be massive. So close up at the top of this one. It's going to be fun moving into our next 3 games. But if you see this and you're like, man, I want to be a part of all that's going to be going on, remember, go over to compete.playstation.com and get involved. Just sign up, hop in, and you can be joined in. We can be casting. You can get involved in all these fights and prove how good you truly are. We're going to go ahead and give everybody a few minutes, though, to get set, mainly mentally prep, figure out how you can get some distance away from those other teams and how you can change up some drops and pick up a couple more kills. So we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Tune in to Dropping In on December 14th for our biggest Apex Legends show yet. Join me, Rainday, and Girl as we drop into live Apex games with special guest and pro coach, Hodsick.
Every single professional team does VOD reviews.
You'll get insights and tips on how to improve your game from one of the top coaches in the ALGS. There will be action, live discussion, and the latest community updates. This is one show Apex players won't want to miss. So mark your calendars and join the live stream on December 14th, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And test your skills by registering for PS4 tournaments at compete.playstation.com.
PlayStation.
Rival over there.
wasn't too long of a wait, so we are back with Apex Legends Master Circuit Wildcards qualifier for North America, and we still got 3 games left, as we have seen a very Titanic-sided games today.
Yes, we have. They've won a couple games though so far, but B&B's got enough kills to make it even with them. So yes, game 1 and 2 won by Titanus, but you never know what will happen or who will take over in the next 3 games. Outsiders are sitting pretty at 17 points. Toaster is sitting pretty at 15, but it's a very close lobby. Take a look at everyone else. From 5th place to 10th are under 12 points, and that just takes 1 win to surpass any of those teams. So anyone can surely make it into our top 3 so far. We've got plenty of time left to make it.
I mean, just 1 squad wipe is a differential of climbing so far, just in and of itself. So we are trying to get everything set and ready to go. It's been some fun circles moving through, and also a lot, I want to say, of like Circle 2 or Ring 2 action that's been really causing a lot of disturbances for teams.
Yeah, I know you wanted some northwest end zones because northeast are very common, but we got another northeast end zone. It's okay. We'll maybe potentially get a northwest end zone soon. We're loading up into the map. If you're new here, we're playing Broken Moon. We like to keep it on the current ranked map, like for the season that we've been hosting. So here we jump on in. Beautiful map. Take a look at the sky. You were talking about, hey, well, one side of the sky. Take a look at that west side. This is Gardens, the, heaven side of the map.
All the floating rocks and looking all pretty over here. And see, look, I always tell my wife, we should go on vacations where it snows. See, you got all like the pretty white rocks and stuff like that. That's the heaven side. It's all hot over on the hell side. You don't want that. I go to the beach whenever we can go where snow is.
So you prefer cold over hot ice?
I live in Texas. I want to get away from the hot, please and thank you.
Well, to be honest, you can get, some hot temperatures with less humidity in some places of the world. Now, Texas, last time I've been there, the humidity index was pretty high.
It was only 115 for most of the summer. It's okay.
Yeah, you don't want to visit in the summer.
And it takes a sec. Everybody's like, Matt, why are you so pale? Have you been to Texas? I talk about video games for a living because it's air conditioned in here, and outside, not so much. Taking a look at our legend selections, nothing too crazy. I think that I saw a Newcastle in one of those. I didn't quite catch which team it was, but CTN finding themselves a good day today. Can they complete the hat trick, though?
Yeah, anything's possible. We don't play Hit the Hat Trick earlier today, so we might see Titanus hit the hat trick as we watch everyone jump down from the ship. This is my favorite. Actually, no, I would say this is my second favorite part. My favorite part is predicting where the zone will pull, and we haven't even gotten to play that game, so we'll play that soon after we see at least the first zone. So we've got 2 teams at Mo Station. There's Lucy. And there's Squad. Yep.
If you like doing if the jump is your favorite, what's your favorite emote as you're coming down?
My favorite emote? Pathfinder emote's gotta be my favorite. Pathfinder's my favorite legend.
I don't even know why I asked the question. Of course. All becoming clear. So where's the circle going to go? Is it going to go northwest? Give us Wharf. Give us Wharf. Do it.
Well, give it a couple seconds as it pops up on our screen. I'm going to count to 5. Okay, I don't even have to count to 5. Southwest. We're not getting the northwest as you wanted. We're getting another southwest ending, but we did get a lot of action last time it pulled southwest. Every team on the north end of the zone ended up fighting or fighting their way in.
I'm not a selfish person. I'll take an Armory or a Promenade either way, as it does look like Rollers MX. Man, it is just early game fighting for them time and time again.
Now, are they going to win this 50-50? That's the question. He did really good damage. He's going to go up into the AR. I feel like the gravity lift is so good early game because, you're shooting people on white armor, and that's what he and his squad are doing. He's going to shoot for another 50 damage, but Mercenary goes down, and that was quite unexpected. He's going to miss half his bullets there through the car SMG. Is he going to be able to knock one? Yes, his teammate's going to be able to knock Foldy. It's a 2v1, but neither of them have armor. This shield battery is incredibly important to get popped.
This is turned much more awkward than I think that anybody was expecting for it, so they should be able to get the res. And now you can see just trying to eye out exactly how they're wanting to move through. Hey, are you holding a friend hostage? Is that the goal over here? Just kind of letting them be? There you go. Finally put him out of his misery.
That's Lucy, so Lucy won't get a chance to rot for another game. And they
Try to go behind the
will.
tree. I respect.
Yeah. Foldy's also going to get thirsted and looted up as well. But we're going to see if Rulers MX decide to stay here because they do have crafting, and that might just insinuate that they're going to be here for a little while. Fat Rips did end up going to the west side near the beacon. Don't see a banner recovery, not a safe one anyways, but if I were them, I'd go for it. I feel like I would definitely go for it. But ratting as well, I mean, with a team this aggressive, you might be able to net yourself a lot of placements. It's just not as fun playing without your teammates.
Oh, yeah. It's the joy of sitting there and having every single one of your actions judged by your friends. Like, why didn't you go pick this thing up? Why didn't you do this?
Are you saying you would jump off the map if that were the case? You'd rather just go next?
I have been known to go the next because I'm more about just like... There's two different modes of Matt playing video games. There is the, I'm going to be the sweatiest of sweat, and then there is the, I just don't care, I want to go shoot things and have fun. And I don't have a middle ground. It's kind of peculiar. It's just one of the two, and they can switch depending on what happens inside the game. So I could just be like happy-go-lucky, and then one of my friends are like, why didn't you pick that up? And instead of being happy-go-lucky, suddenly I'm sweaty, and I'm like, oh, I'll teach you. Or on the other side of it, I just might be like, okay, yeah, you're right, I'm just going to jump off the cliff.
Yeah, if my friends are ever pointing fingers at me, I have this thing. It's like, you know, either log out or bait them and have them die first. Never die first. Never go in first. And then who's talking afterwards, right? Like, as long as you play your life like Chris does right now with the R99, getting the first knock and thirst, and a blue armor swap after that. These are going to be great teams, and Ruthless Ramparts are eliminated.
That was Ruthless coming out from TTN. They are vibing today, and they are asserting dominance on this map right now. It is nice to see.
And going back to what I was talking about earlier, right? If someone's pointing fingers at me, I'm just going to play Pathfinder, play in the back, do as much damage as possible. I will go into the fight 100%. I will have your back, but I'm not dying without you. And you might die without me because I might just grapple out if you don't do any damage.
See, it all makes sense now. I don't want to die first, and I will bait my teammates in. And, oh, Pathfinder is my favorite legend. It all just wrapped together in my brain. I get it.
Isn't it? Yes. It's so good. It's great to play Pathfinder. I mean, you're saving the day. You're recovering banners. You're also not the person dying. And, I mean, some teammates might... get upset that you're the person living and you're not committing to your fights enough. But at the end of the day, just ask them why they died.
Why you die, forehead?
Yeah, why'd you die? Next time, do more damage. Get a knock.
When you're 1v1, and then you don't have to worry about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm 1v1ing at the end, I'm not going to grapple out. I'm going to take my one. But if you're going to die for free and put me in a bad position, in a bad situation, well, you can't point your finger at me anymore, right? I'm playing my life constantly.
Now you're playing Spider-Man and waiting to see who can sweep in and maybe pick up somebody or not.
Exactly.
Weather report tuning in, as we've been talking and joking around, is the north is getting slightly clustered, but not any real big firefights happening yet. There is one that could be popping off down to the southeast relatively soon, as we do have some people hanging out around that just kind of right edge of the circle, as it's going to be around Atmos Station. See that really it's about vision and just trying to get a feel of what all is going on down here, as explosions galore are going to open up, and wow, ran right in front of him. Now just doing the juke around, and that is some tricksy play coming out on the opposite side of this.
Oh my goodness, that jump was incredible. He missed every single shot with the Volt. But, okay, that was Logie. That was some great gameplay coming in from CPT. And now they're a full trio. That's a toaster. They're going to be eliminated. But really big props to Logie for that movement that he's got going on.
That was just pretty. That was some mind games, understanding exactly where he was going to get shot at and just juking around it. Like, I thought whenever he got spotted in the smoke, it was just going to be a hunt, but suddenly he was up in the air, jumping around, sliding on the ground, doing the ducks. You know, all those technical things that I wish I could do.
It's same for me as well. I'm known for, my analytical, my thought process going into the game, but for movement, I think I'm at a 0. I never wall jump. I never do the tap strafing stuff. I'm not that type of player, but Logie surely has a lot to teach us going forward in the movement category.
I just wish I could see that from his perspective. So hopefully somebody can get him to, like, if he's streaming or watching any of this, get a clip and toss it over here. Looks like we are continuing in our cultivation. I guess we're just kind of farming down in cultivation. That's where all of our circles are going.
Yeah, this is definitely another one. Hopping down here in game number 3. We've got 3 games left, including this one. Let's take a look. Outsiders doing the exact same thing they did before with the Catalyst and with the Watson in a very similar building. So let's take a look and see if they can hold this building better than they did last time as they're getting pushed here. Dinosaur Venom's going to have to pop a shield battery. He has the wall covering him. They're going to be able to swing out on this Bloodhound. The very nice wingman shots, but Parker's kind of gets out-traded and goes down to Memo Kusai here.
Oh, and this assault is now starting to get third-partied, and we're starting to see tons of outside firefighting coming into this. So Roller's now having this step away. Mercenary, and you can see just trying to make sure that he can keep his teammates up, only spotting out the 3, so it's going to be the range that is the big problem, trying to exploit, as we now have, I believe, looking at this 1, 2, 3, and 4 teams, maybe even a 5th one being involved at the time. It is very hard to see. There is just a cluster of names all going for this compound, as yet again, the southwestern area is where everybody wants to be.
Is this the exact same building that had 5 teams fight the other game? I feel like it is.
It's very close to it. It's just to the south.
Oh my goodness. Well, a little bit of a repeat action going on, potentially. Axolotl, they're surviving as well nearby. I'm trying to take a look at my map here. Okay, we've got 4 teams inside of the zone. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams outside of the zone making their way in. TPK are on the far edge near Atmo Station taking storm damage. So they've came a long way to get here, a long trek. We've got Fake Preds fighting on the north end of the map as well. And let's take a look into this fight.
Jumping in, this is a very far north of Promenade, even, as it is going to be Fake Breads that are trying to gatekeep out. Looks like they have managed to at least spot out Rage Lord and crew. Are just trying to get away right now, as it looks like they are going to jump over, then go down to South Promenade. And so with that escape, it looks like Fake Preds are just going to be on the hunt. Bad news for Rage Lord and crew, though, is it also going to be the same pathing that B&B is coming in from their production yard path.
And yeah, and they have Fake Preds behind them, so there could be a fight that erupts there on the edge of the north end of the zone for sure. 1 minute and 14 seconds till this fully closes. You don't want to be in that storm for too long, but it is still survivable for now. Cultivation has lots of space for you to be able to play in. B&B might opt to take the west side if Rage Lord is lucky enough for them to do so. Packers ended up getting recovered. That's the great thing about Dinosaur Venom playing Pathfinder. Every Pathfinder is truly loved. Oh no, Black Mamba ends up getting caught out of position. AXG after die takes down Black Mamba. Now Dinosaur Venom's going to be pinched in between both teams. CPT's actually going to run away, and they're not actually going to be able to get the scan on Dinosaur Venom because he is actually right behind them. They passed him, so they're going to go take the fight that Dinosaur Venom needs them to take. That is incredible that he survives that on the top.
2 teams jumped in on top of him. So with this, his teammate took off to the north and pulled off after dying the rest of his team. So Curiosity then went on the hunt after them that were going after the solo. So Dinosaur Venom just used it all as a bait and switch, got up into a high ground point and watched him run by, as now he gets to move down all around Armory for himself. TPK is going to be coming in over here, as it's going to be really, Fat Rips are going to be pretty close, and TRK Mercenary is going to get the center of the circle, as this one's a lot more, I guess, terrain-friendly than the last one was in the cultivation area, just kind of playing into the southwest. But that does mean that the north is going to become a death funnel with at least 3, maybe even 5 teams all converging in a similar path.
Yeah, this is the important zone pull for sure. You don't want to be fighting for too long. You do have 2 minutes to get this underway here, though. So Hydras, they're going to be holding the building. Don't believe they have very many building legends to be able to hold this down. No Caustic, no Watson, no Catalyst. They're just getting beamed from both directions. It's kind of hard to play this. If I were them, I would swing out from one side, but it might be too late, and nobody made the comm. He does 100 damage, but he takes 150. This is not a good trade for him. This is an unfair trade, if anything.
Well, there's nothing to be done. There's B&B on one side, Fake Preds on the other. They still have now After Die and his team are going to be coming down. They are just trapped. There's no way to get out of this position for them unless something happens. Route is at least moving down to the south, but now has spotted out what's going to be going on. So the reprieve of the fourth party has at least bought them some time, as B&B is going to get eliminated. They're just trying to hold on to this positioning. Fake Pred's now starting to find more and more control over this area, and I think that Rage Lord and their team is just going to get out. They're like, no, we're done. We see a path out that eastern side, and we are just gone.
They were saved indeed. They were about to get pushed, but the team pushing them ended up getting pushed in return. Fake Preds, it's going to get canceled on this revive route. It's going to have to pop a battery, but he's on the micro drones. He's detected. They know exactly where he is, and they're going to be pushing. Rage Lord is full of rage, but he ends up going down. Wako takes him down. Jay Silent taking down Wako. That's a good trade from them, and they are in a one-man advantage. So it is a 2 versus 1. Very nice shots, hitting 34 flesh with the G7 Scout. Jay Silent doing massive damage for his team, which is exactly what they needed. But there's more teams inbound. They have to get that quick revive before anyone else comes nearby.
Route did manage to get away and has gotten that compound that we saw earlier that was contested, that just had the fortifications galore around it. So with this, we are at least going to see a slowdown, as the Hydras are going to be the team that is furthest to the north. Route is coming back, though. Yeah, they spotted him, and looks like he might have been trying to come back for a banner or something, but he's just going to run right into a 3-member team. But they're just going to jump this, as there is another squad just outside of Route. So this is going to be a ton of teams all converging. They are taking different pathing, but due to the rails, we might see them all going into the same point.
That was a perfectly timed Valkyrie skyward dive there from them. They noticed the zone was coming in. They made sure to get this really clean rotation in. Are they getting pressured? Yes, they are. But if they can manage to find a safe spot for them and their team, they'll be quite all right, but it might not look like they did. Hydras ends up going down. That's Logie from CPT. He's an aggressive one. You got to be aware of him, but they end up getting traded out here.
CPT is just trying to get control over the area. Hydras do get eliminated, as we are going to see this really become a focal point of strength. Fake Preds now playing around this position just inside the circle. Last member up for Route did manage to get away from all of that, but there is a team that is going to be to the north, as well as one that is just on the other side of this cliff. There's a spattering of people, solos, rats, that are all going to be trying to find a path into this one. And it's, while we started off with much more, I guess, safety and terrain, it's gotten a lot more barren.
I love this. We were talking about the rats in the EU region. Now we've got a couple of rats of our own. We have Dinosaur Venom still alive as Pathfinder. We've got Fat Rips TTV still alive as well. And then we've got its Route from Fake Preds alive with both of the banners. But it does not seem... Oh, I might be wrong. He actually might be going for that respawn beacon before the zone closes in. He's got 30 seconds. It looks like he's going to go for it. He is getting pressured on the way there. But hey, nobody's going to push out of Storm to come and contest him. He's going to have 2 teammates up, but they're not going to have any loot and no guns. They might have about 5 seconds to find something, but the zone's closing in and they don't have a safe spot. Good thing for them, though, CPT has actually found a squad that they want to fight, so Route actually could be able to make it in and actually take one of the buildings in that zone. This is a blessed day for them.
This is just insane. Everybody else is going to be running around with guns and playing an FPS. Meanwhile, the two teammates for Route are going to be jumping down playing a fighting game with their fists. They might be able to find some loot to work with as CPT is getting more and more control over the circle. But Route and crew, as you can see on the map, coming in on that left side, find a path, and really now it's going to be about how After Die, the rest of his team, looking down at really TPK and what they're going to be doing as CPT is now starting to take more control over the south. They do need to keep an eye out as Fat Rips could come in from the south and really backstab.
Curiosity taking down Zypher there in the kill feed, and take a look at this. CPT want more blood, they want more action. This is one of our strongest teams in the Apex Legends Master Circuit. Our solo Fat Rips ended up taking out Dinosaur Venom for that 1v1. So definitely big shout out to him. TPK eliminated there on the edge of Storm. Curiosity surviving with a sliver of health, but they're going to get pushed. It's all up to Dr. Magic to be able to fend this team off from his own.
Here's the problem, though. With all that's happened, we can see the fact that Route and all of the revives have now managed to reset. The circle is shifted back into them. They've got control of the circle. With CPT now pushing out to go after these kills, everything has shifted back over to Route and his team. They've got the establishment on how they want to handle what's going to be going forward inside of this. So, with this fake Preds now gets control of the circle, is their utility good enough as they're now getting back into purples? And look, they're picking up all of this loot off the ground. Is it exactly what they want? No, but it is prepped for fighting as now everybody has to come to them.
That is an incredible recovery from Route himself, and to be able to get that revive off with CPT ending up getting distracted like a little newborn dog, you know, just running at the bone wherever he sees them. But hey, CPT did manage to get lots of kills off of it, so it's not too bad for them. They are indeed going to get pushed, though. Fake Preds is right behind them. And take a look at that. Daniel Spams with the bow, your favorite. Taking down Dr. Magic. JSL taking down Curiosity. Axolotl versus Fake Preds in the end of it. After Die goes down. Oh my goodness, this is a bloodbath. Fake Preds is going to be able to pick up all of these kill points, but Daniel Spams does go down in the time.
Go from where they were in all of this to now starting to get control. B2 squads are up and around. Fake Preds still trying to hunt down what's going to be going on. They spot it, go for the spray, and Fake Preds makes the miracle happen and pick up a victory from near on defeat.
Fake Preds taking game number 3 by storm, losing 2 of their members mid-game, and Route making that huge clutch for his team, grabbing those banners, picking them back up, reviving them, looting all the death boxes nearby, making it into Storm. This was truly a huge story for them.
This is Apex right here. This is what you want. Getting into a bad spot, figuring out how to revive, jumping back down, following in and just moving right back behind the action, getting the loot situated, and then taking control of the circle as aggression from the other team is what you use to capitalize off of. And you got to give it to CPT. They were taking control over that circle. They thought that they had it polished off, and then suddenly just a full squad is back behind them, looted and ready to fight.
Yeah, they did a great job, though. They made the top 3, and they had a lot of kills. Fat Rips surviving off this. Did a great job picking up some placement as well, because they could have been done so there in the top 15 and only managing to pick up 1 point. But I think Fat Rips managed to make a few for his team at least. BMB here early game. I didn't see too much of them, as much as I thought I would see, but take a look at this Titanus versus BMB. It looks like BMB has the upper hand there. TPK doing a great job. A lot of zone fights, as we were talking about. It just keeps happening. There are about 5 teams that are always consistently playing on that edge or in Storm.
It's just these consistent southwestern circles are forcing everybody into the choke points. Cliff Facing's doing exactly what they're supposed to, as they're now just making it to where everybody is being forced to fight in these stages. The circles, we really need to start keeping an eye on how much of them are falling right along a choke point pathing, because that has just been the recipe for a lot of bad and trouble firefights where we're having 4 or 5 teams all just up on top of each other.
There's no way they could lose that 2v1. He had him right in the back. And hey, this is Fake Preds taking a dub, the first dub for them of the day in their game number 3. They got a good amount of kills as well. They got 11 kills. And take a look at the accuracy in NA. I've been telling you, 20 and 27%. It's been incredible from these squads.
And also, the respawns given down there at the bottom, finding a big game. Fake Preds now going to move themselves back up into a good spot, contesting at the top of the leaderboard. What are we going to look at? Wow, it is still pretty close, as it is going to be B&B just 1 point ahead of Titanus. But then it's going to be Fake Preds finding themselves some legs, just 13 points back behind that, and that is usurpable in 2 different games. CPT going to be back behind that with Axolotl right on their heels, and Outsiders just 1 point behind as Toaster, Rollers, TPK, and High Precision round out the rest.
Wow, B&B and Titanus only got 4 and 3 points. They were both sitting at 44 tied there, so it's leaving room for the rest of the lobby to catch up, and they might not be too happy about that. They got to do more to, create that gap between themselves and the rest of the lobby, or they're going to have those nerves flying through them in our last 2 games. We still got 2 games to go, though. There's still a lot to unfold and so much action to be presented to us.
I just love the fact that we're seeing the different approaches on how to play. I kind of hinted about this earlier. More of a, let's play for position. Let's make sure that we go for the fights that we really need in order to try to win the game. And the other one is, let's just take control over everything around us, use the kills to propel us up the leaderboard. And if through that we get enough control to win the game, that's gravy on top of it. I mean, everybody is always aiming for the victory. One is just a much more turbulent path to get there, but has a much higher reward if you can.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by the NA region today. So much aggressiveness coming out from every team, even if they're in God spot, even if they're in a building with 10 death boxes and maybe 50 in armor swaps, they still leave it to pursue more and more kills. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. For Fake Preds, it was a blessing for them, for CPT to leave that building with all of the loot to pursue something else. And CPT might have to regret it and slow it down a little bit, because the action might be a little bit too fast for their playstyle. For them to, end up catching up and taking a dub, they're going to have to get some wins alongside those skills.
It's one of those situations where they played everything right, but due to a curveball that came in back behind them, I don't know. I don't know if you're CPT, what do you learn from that? Do you make sure to go chase after the flush so that way somebody can't go for the res? Do you learn to maintain keeping control over that? There's a lot of different ways you can look at that, and that's one of those things where different players, different mindsets are going to be a key factor in figuring out how they're going to maybe change that in the future. But I'm just loving how hungry the North American players are. You can tell, like, you like, it's often talked about whenever you take somebody down, you finish them out if they're knocked, it's thirsty. I've always found it to be just an absolute hunger. It's like every single point is mine and I want it. And you could feel it in these games, especially after the mid game.
Yeah, and it's needed for a lot of the teams as well. There's a lot of great teams that just aren't up to their own standards, right? They want to do better, and they typically see themselves placing higher or doing better. So they're even thirstier, and they want those skills. They want to catch up. There's still 2 games. Anything's possible. But yeah, I completely agree with you. Casting teams that just fight after fight after fight, that's the best. That's the best Apex. That's the most fun Apex to watch. But we also like to see those sweaty end zones. I really, really wish that there were maybe 2 extra squads there at the end. Everyone's holding down a building, seeing that circle just go smaller and smaller and smaller. That's also a really fun part. But hey, if you need to get those kills to get that dub, go for it, right? If you need to get those kills to catch up, keep on pushing.
Hey, I'm fine with it because it allowed us to see a 2-man reset to jump in, re-loot, and go for a fight. So whatever's happening, I'm impressed and I'm enjoying it, and I want more of whatever's going to be happening. So with 2 games left, yeah, we're seeing that North America is, I guess, taking their time to get back into lobbies as we're progressing. So we do apologize, as it is taking us just a second to get everything situated. It's the North American diva mindset. It's just, I'm not ready. Make everybody wait for me, as I need to talk to my teammates for just a second, or I need to go to the restroom. It's always the thing that ends up happening.
Well, it's important to stretch and get your water in between games, but some of these teams did die earlier, so hopefully they did that beforehand. But it's for those teams that made it to top 3, made it to top 6. I mean, sometimes you know that you have to go, you have to, use the restroom, get a drink, but you're watching such good Apex Legends. It can wait. It can wait for between the game, right? And that's where they, take that time, take their breaks, and then get back into the lobby.
I'm just making a joke. It's just it's the international joke, right? Is that North America is always divas at every single event that they go to.
They don't show up to scrims.
Don't show up to scrims, and they're always out just doing stuff instead of like treating it serious because they want to. Look, see, we take things seriously. It's just sometimes we got something else we got to do for a second, right? That's the way it works. Mindset coming out, but. Regardless, whatever Wheaties they need to eat during these breaks to keep these games going, I am fine with it. Looking back over, most of our lobby has managed to fill out, so it should just be a little while longer. So the aggression itself and the double-edged sword, we were alluding to that a second ago with CPT. Do you see that as a fault, or do you see that more as a weird situation that allowed that to happen? Because it's odd whenever you look at the overall of it, is they did the right thing, but it was also the wrong thing in that one situation.
I feel like once you get to a certain point in the game, aka when you get to top 3 or top 4, that's when you really need to take it seriously and try and go for the win, because you already got so many placement points, you already got to a good spot. So if you're already currently holding a good spot, or if you're in a good situation, I don't feel the need to fight a team in that top 3. But if you got a bad spot, if you don't think you're gonna win, you can go for that fight. But sometimes it's not great to be overconfident.
I'm just astounded looking at Dynasty and these damage numbers. This is beast right here. This is just absolutely ridiculous. As if you look down to Fake Pred's #1 damage dealer in 4th place with Daniel, Dynasty has twice it.
Yeah,
That's
wow, we're only
astounding.
3 games in. 1,000 damage over ADMP. Incredible stuff, You got your fragger on your team, and he's definitely the fragger that you love to have. If he can out-damage everyone in the lobby, some teams might have to be signing him up for some trials here soon. They're begging him to play with them.
I mean, that's an astounding number to put out, no matter how you look at it. Now then, looks like you can see we are moving into our 4th game of the day. So this is the pressure mounting stage as the leaderboard has become more and more compressed throughout it. We still got neck and neck up at the top. There is a chance for Fake Preds to try to step up into that top 2, make it a top 3, and make this a race in the tail end. But also, everybody after that, one good game is all they need, and maybe this one could be it.
One good game is all it takes to get top 10.
It's actually really, really true. One good game is all it takes to get in top 4, it feels like. So.
Yeah, considering what you describe as a good game. If you describe a good game with 5 kills in first place, then it could get you up there. But for some teams, a good game is just a team wipe. You gotta start
true.
Somewhere.
Hey,
stepping still.
why are you calling me out right now? A good game for me is whenever I land and I get a team wipe before I have to get murderized and sent back to the lobby. I now know where I rate inside this hierarchy. I get it.
Hey, we all got different standards for ourselves, and there's no comparison to other people, because that is not good. You got to compare yourself to yourself each and every day. As long as you can improve a little bit over time, that will amount to a lot.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things we always see our players talking about is a big factor is they're playing their own game, as you can't be constantly playing around what the other teams are doing or what you think the other team is. You have to be executing on what you think the best idea to do at this time. Yeah, sure. Pay attention to which team is where. That is important. Understand who you're probably going to be fighting, but you still keep playing your game. Don't compare yourself to anybody else in the lobby except for yourself in the previous round.
Well, we're getting another 50-50 Atmos station, which is a little bit surprising since Fat Rips, Foldy, and Lucy did end up losing that, but they're confident in themselves. They want to win this next one. I just feel like it's so hard to win that 50-50 from the low ground, but they might end up doing it. Where else do we have a 50-50? Again, in core as well. Production yard is free for Titanus. They're going to be safe looting that up. But other than that, yeah, just core and ammo station. That's where our first fights are going to ensue.
So it's a slow roll right now, as it's more safe as they go. Well, I say that. New team's already lost one. Now problems are starting to mount. BMB looking like they didn't manage to get any water during that last game, so are pretty thirsty, and it looks like they're finding exactly what they want.
They found the vending machine with the water inside of it, and this team was guarding it, but guarding it no longer, as he is just emptying a clip for fun, you know, creating some music. It's always fun. Oh my goodness. Another fight happening here near Promenade, I believe.
This is an early buy for position. Yeah, back down into the southeast.
Yeah, Atmos Station, actually.
Looking in, we are getting a more northern circle than last time, but it is a just due west circle. So we'll have to see on how that one's going to be playing out. That does mean the fact that Rollers and the rest of the team needs to make sure that they get something going on here. Gets the spray out, and that's going to be a good way to get it going. Door's now going to be kind of kicked off between them, but there's a lot of doors and a lot of access into these buildings, and that little cubby is probably not going to be enough.
Well, they did manage to pour a lot of damage into Rollers MX. It's just, yeah, not going to be enough. So higher precision might have to rethink about this 50-50. If they're not able to get a knock or two, they might have to think about looting somewhere else and developing those skills before they take those 50-50s. Or maybe they just got out RNG'd. You never know. Maybe they just didn't find those guns that they excel with. So we'll have to see them for the last game. But this is game number 4 out of 5. Every game counts. We want to see everyone do their best going forward.
Is it a 50-50 if one team is always winning it?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't even think they got 50% of the loot, to be honest, because MX Rollers, they get the high ground, but they also get all of the loot around. Unfortunate.
CPT in the thick of it early again, and that's a Toaster getting eliminated. Wow, that's early.
Yeah, Toaster was doing really well in the beginning of our tournament here, but they've been finding themselves dying quite early. Now, that confidence and aggressiveness that we saw earlier from them kind of been dying away ever since they got that top 3 place and ended up losing it to Titanus, I believe. So unfortunate from them. They lost their momentum. They lost the role that they had. After Die, he might be getting beamed inside of this. And oh my goodness, the fight doesn't really look in favor of Axolotl, but they're going to continue to press and push.
This feels like it's messy on both sides. Nobody really finding the strength that they want. Beautiful spray coming out from After Die as he's going to go down. The return on it, that does mean the fact that Bro has 2 and this strong shields lined up. Going to be going for the res, and that should be executable, as now it's just going to be a flush out on After Die.
I've never seen such a good spray, but it's a little bit too late as they were already losing the fight. In turn, Bro takes the win there and takes the kill points for themselves. Reminder, this is game number 4. If you want to make it to that top 5, you got to do your absolute best going forward. Big Preds knows that, and they're aware. I think they're the team that I saw in Promenade. Yes, they are, and CPT is actually running away from them right now. Titanus. Do they have a team nearby? Is it a solo, perhaps?
Way back over here into the north, it looks like we actually do see a fight that's going to be breaking out between 2 different teams on the opposite sides of this one. So, looks like this is more just about getting some control. And have you ever wondered how much the Legends have to work out in order to just hang by one hand as much as they do?
I know,
mean, it's not fair for
never
Pathfinder,
wondered that.
This is the way my brain works. These are the things I think about whenever I see people doing things in Apex Legends.
Well, you know what? Maybe they just have great genetics.
I mean, on
They
Pathfinder,
don't have to
it
work
makes
at
sense,
it at
right?
all. Yeah, on Pathfinder, it truly does make sense. But for the others, I mean, they're running across the map every single time that they play, so I'm sure they're very athletic.
And we got World Cup going on, and there's more running inside of this than that any day of the week. So, got to be fit to make this work.
Did you know that soccer requires less athletic ability than baseball? Apparently, there's a chart, like a scientific chart.
My brain doesn't compute how that's feasible, but I will believe your numbers and statistics because...
Oh, well, I didn't make those numbers up, but yeah, you know. This is something I saw the other day. I was astounded.
I would be too. That makes no sense in my brain, but Rollers, though, getting police control over this high ground right now now that's going to be processing in the back of my head for the remainder of this round. Looks like Roller's still trying to take some shots into this one. This is going to become a little bit more problematic. There is at least a solo for a third party that is watching this and providing some overwatch on it, but I don't know if we're going to see too much more of this fight brew out, depending on the pathing each team takes.
Scan's going to come through, and Danino is going to be spotted. The team is still right under them. I don't know. Do they have a knock? Did you see if they had a knock there on that scan? Not quite sure, but it doesn't really matter because Danino's beaming and Deimos is going to go down instantly. This is looking in favor of Rollers MX. They take down one. Can they finish this squad off without going down? Memo Kusai does end up going down and getting thirsted as well on top of that.
Oh.
They killed Bro, but they lost him, so they lost some time. They got to get him back up.
Bro, that's painful looking at. So, I have to see how they move forward with it. The circle has stayed in that western shift, so nothing too crazy coming out. We do need to keep an eye out on our solo that is just ahead of this. Also to the east, you can see it is going to be 3 different teams pathing pretty close to each other. As I still don't understand. One sport you're running around everywhere, and the other one you're standing around a lot more. How do you use more? Sorry, I'm still on this whole soccer thing. I'm going to be looking this up for a while now.
Yeah, you're going to have to look that up after the broadcast here. But for now, you know, we've got those teams on the east, as you were talking about. We got Fake Preds and Titanus playing for zone, which we don't often see. But Fake Preds, they normally like to take those wins home. But I do understand their methodology going forward. JSL is going to be able to rat. I think rat pretty safely, in all honesty. And where do the outsiders find themselves right now? They want to recover this banner. It's just so hard with me, like the other 2 teams right on top of it.
Yeah, good shot to open this one up, though. If you want to try to go for that banner, that's a good way to try to make it happen. With that damage now sprinting into position, they might be able to get there. Along their pathing in front of them, I'm trying to see if they have any good res opportunities. They could just kind of pick this up and then run back over to the east and maybe make that happen. Oh, be careful. Draw too much attention.
Yes. When you're playing a Watson, you just can't stop in the open because that's what happens. This is something a lot of Apex players might not realize, but when they're in a gunfight, it's really good to analyze what is your nearest cover. Are you near any cover? Because if you take damage like that, where are you going to end up running? Especially as a Watson, you can't just phase out, but it was unfortunate for him.
Goes back into that commit moment. You can see that I think that a teammate called out that somebody was getting ready to take shots at him. So he stopped and turned around. At that point, your goal is to try to get back over, get the banner, and get out. So just run is about the only thing you can do. It's a mistake that, I mean, I even see all kinds of pros at all different levels make it that happen all the time. Is like suddenly you see something, your ears perk up and you turn around to look at it instead of just continuing running.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone ends up doing it in their lifetime for sure. It's just a little bit of a learning lesson for everyone. Might do it a couple times more than everyone else because I'm a slow learner, so I make the same mistakes a few times, but I'm sure these teams will adapt.
Just means you're efficiently learning, right? You want to make sure you understand all the nuance to it.
Yes, I want to understand in 50 different ways on why I died in the spot that I died and all the different factors it took for me to die, aka the weather, the angles that the enemy took, the guns that they had, the legend that I was playing versus the legends they were playing. Yeah. I was slow but efficient learner for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you need to do. As long as you learn it in the end, that's all that matters. Moving into our end game, we do have the potential of a fight that could be happening down to the south of the circle, but really over into the east, everything has calmed down. We are moving into this more kind of western situation that we've finally left cultivation, so getting some variation in the way that the map looks. And I love these rails. I will never stop getting tired of watching this.
Yeah, honestly, it's my favorite way to traverse the map. I feel like, you know, tridents are amazing. Balloons, they're also amazing, but you can get beamed on them. And for tridents, you can get arc starred and fully killed from a team nearby. Fake Preds, I'm going to put that on pause. As Fake Preds are actually getting themselves in a fight here. They're going to survive for now. I don't know if they're going to continue to be as aggressive as they were, so I'll continue my... Oh, no, never mind. I'm not continuing my thought process. They are in the fight.
Oh, one of the members now going down. How are they going to decide to handle this one? This is a sneaky play coming out from Route. See if maybe he can get this flank, but oh, with this dropping right on top of him, is going to have to move around. Gets the shots. Nice double up. Going to go ahead and take down Roller's MX in front of him. Now, jumping back down into some form of safety, getting their res.
Lucky for them, no one's nearby for that third party. Everyone's still making their way into Storm all around them. They're the only team production yard besides JSL on that west back side of it, just ratting. I'm not sure, does Titanus play Seer? Because Titanus might be able to scan them out. If not, JSL's in a very nice position.
Yeah, really, this area, if we're finally seeing something that's got a lot more building diversity inside of it instead of more open. We do have an open area that could be happening around to the north where a couple of our teams are wrapping, but a couple of these teams, as you can see right where we're looking at with TTN, their backs are pretty much up against the wall of the map itself, so they shouldn't have to worry about too many rats coming in back behind them. They're just making sure to spot it out, making sure to keep control. And I can see that there's a green circle on top of this one. It looks like they might have some information on what they're wanting to do.
Yeah, so they did have the Sierra, as I was talking about, and they did spot out the Solo, or the Solo spotted them out, almost ended up knocking one of Titanus. But yeah, Titanus is one of the teams that had beacon information early, so they were able to pick up the best building in this zone, which is the only building in this end zone here for now. Playing height of the roof. They've got a couple great teams around them. This is BNB applying pressure, and we're going to have to see who ends up getting the first knock here. We're going to go with the scan. I think they're going to apply a heavy amount of pressure, and if they do, Fake Preds might just come from behind. But the beams are coming through with the flat line on the high ground. Love it's doing a great job scanning around, making sure that they don't get third party right away.
TTN is playing this so cleanly. There is also the Solo that we still had. JSL still trying to hold out what's going on to the south of this, so that might be a distraction. Axolotl is going to get eliminated with that. So now, TTN, they've got the compound, but they do not have the control, and they know it. They've got to play this carefully with the pushes that are going to be coming. They need to finish this fight as fast as possible because both of these teams know that this is going to be the moment. Chris is already going to go down inside the fight. Now it's going to be about seeing if they can try to keep him alive, trying to track the information on what's going on the outside of this. Can they find the angle that they need to turn this fight into their favor? Is now going to get a good beat, good damage as well.
Oh, that was such a good angle, but it was just him by himself. And BNB, are they? Yes, they are getting third party. ADMP is going to pop a Phoenix kit, but that's Fake Preds. Like we talked about, they were on their way over. TTN, they're still alive, but they're very much broken.
Well, that's going to be the end of it. Looks like they did get spotted out.
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's just the amount of damage that can be pumped out by some of these squads. Even if you get that nice flank, you saw how quick the flick was back over into him and just unloaded damage. Fake Preds, though, now out in the open, using the vision that they have that others don't and trying to exploit it, as this is just starting to become, I know it's a rout, but a rout of a firefight as everybody is just having to flee from them.
Top 5, 9 people remaining. We've got a few solos. Actually, this is the last 3v3 fight that we're going to be seeing for the rest of this game. Number 4. Wow, Daniel spams with the Digi-Threat. That's what we're talking about. There's so many Bangalores. You always want a Digi-Threat, and that is what Daniel spams is going to be able to provide with his team route. They did a great job taking the last full squad remaining. So now it's just a little solo hunt for them to rack up 2 more kill points and a few more placement. Unless these solos can somehow pinch Fake Preds, I don't see them ending out on top, but you never know. You never know. Curiosity, Dinosaur Venom, if they have a couple Cravers. There is a map care package nearby. Fake Preds doesn't seem very interested in it either.
They've got their own goals, and that is the Bloodthirst coming out as they are looking for Curiosity. Curiosity's already moved around to the southwest of this position, right on the edge of the zone, but this is, I think this is just a hunt now, is really what we're looking at with these last 2 solos, just trying to hold it out. I think that unless one of them just gets a miraculous knock, do shout out to Dinosaur Venom, who is still alive, though. Managed to find a nice little hidey hole right on the edge of the zone. Curiosity, though, I think that you're not long for this world. Yep, already shots coming at you, and where are you even going to go? You're going to drop down right into the firing lines of another member. Trying to get some shots, does get some damage out. Curiosity has to go for the reload. Can he at least get a knock? CPT gets eliminated, and now Dinosaur Venom, what you do?
Well, if it was anything
Yep.
like EU,
Yep.
okay, it's just sit here and be cute, play with Nessie. That's all right. Love to see it. EU, they just throw grenades at each other or jump into storm. But Dinosaur Venom's a different breed. Dinosaur Venom's having fun.
I guess Nessie is a dinosaur, so, this is on brand. I like the little
Definitely
sound,
on
little
brand.
squeak,
A really cute brand that I'd like to invest in for sure.
All right, Dinosaur Venom, you've now got my heart, but can you get the victory? Because the circle is nowhere near you, and you're just littering the ground. Can you imagine if Fake Preds hears the little squeak and then realizes where he is to come after him?
My goodness, they don't have a seer, so they actually really don't know where Dinosaur Venom
Go back to the
is.
sound.
So we're just going to see so many Nessies pop up on the floor. Dinosaur Venom's just making a little bit of a playground. Oh, he is spotted. And they don't give him a chance to fight back. There's no punching fight here in the end. It is a game over for Dinosaur Venom. So Fake Preds taking game number 4.
Yeah.
In our Masters Circuit wild cards. That was incredible, and that's going to really boost them up in the leaderboards. Amazing job.
Playing more of a, I guess, pacifist route there at the end, choosing to play with stuffed animals instead of going for the violence. Dinosaur Venom doesn't get the victory, but at least gets the moral victory.
Yeah, he had fun, and that's what really counts at the end of the day. If you can't get the wins, you might as well have a lot of fun with your friends. And here are replays for game number 4. There's only one more game to go, and these are the highlights that we had going through our game number 4.
Oh, this is just the continual nature for rollers. You can see that they do manage to win firefights in the earlier section, but it's just the mid game that is causing them oh so much problems.
Yeah, it's been really tough for a lot of these teams. The zone just doing so much damage. Hard to fight against Fake Preds when they're so aggressive on top of this roof. Rollers and Mechs, they had the high ground, but I mean, they just lost the gunfight overall. That's exactly what happened, and they've been stomping over every team. I feel like they're getting better and better as time goes on. I really admired Curiosity's will to fight there. He did a lot of damage. Going up into this Horizon gravity lift might not have been the place since they had all of the high ground. And then this is Fake Preds taking the win against poor little Watson. They didn't even give him a second to retaliate.
Nessie's going to get you for that one. Got to be careful moving in. But hey, a solid 13 kills and a victory is going to be big for Fake Preds. And now we might see a very, very feisty leaderboard as this is going to continue to get crazier with TTN picking up the first 2, Fake Preds picking up the next 2, and a very kill-heavy squad still in the thick of it.
All right. Well, you see Titanus and Fake Preds both getting 2 wins, but take a look at who's first with 59, tied with Fake Preds right now. It is BNB, so they're taking 59 points. They are not out of it, even though they can't secure a win yet. They are still in first or tied with first place with Fake Preds. So Fake Preds, they did a great job getting themselves to the top of this leaderboard. Titanus, they're not too far behind, only 8 points away from second and first. CPT doing a great job, okay? They had to play a duo some of the games, but trio as well, some others, and they're doing a great job putting themselves into the money if they can make it into that top 3.
Well, I have a question for you guys watching. Do you think that you can emote better than Dinosaur Venom? If you do think that you can, remember, you can go over to compete.playstation.com, sign up for the events, get involved, and show your emote mastery as you're moving through all of this. You know, just gotta make sure we show Nessie as much love as possible. But speaking of which, I need to go try to find my own Nessie doll, so we're gonna take a quick break before we move into our last game. We'll see you in just a few minutes. One last game left in the Apex Legends Master Circuit Wildcards qualifier for North America, and whew, that is a mouthful to say, as we are now moving into the final game. Two teams up on top of each other fighting for first, and one just a few points behind, as we are moving into a spicy.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful set of games with so much action. NA has been non-stop action. There's never really a moment to breathe for these teams. Titanus managing to get 2 wins here today. Fake Preds also getting 2 wins today, but you can't count out B&B because they are currently tied for first place with Fake Preds. You definitely want them on your radar. So it's these 3 teams fighting for first place. Not sure, maybe with a big game, CPT can make it, but if not, second place, perhaps potential for them or outsiders as well if they manage to net themselves some big games. So there's only one more chance to do so, and it's coming up.
That is what NA stands for, right? Non-stop action?
That's a good one. That is a very
You're the
good
one that said it. I just realized that they went back to back with each other. Because one last game, man, I have to say, no matter how we look at it, it has been some flashy games coming out from our 2 teams that picked up wins. But B&B has just been beastly all the way through this. The damage numbers that they're putting out, they're finding, again, their own path to success. I said it earlier. That's what I love about Apex is there are multiple equations to find victory at the end of the day, so find the one that works best for you, and they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And Fake Preds, honestly, they really brought out some comeback strategies. They didn't start off very well, and now seeing them tied with B&B here at the finale, Titanus not too far behind. But yeah, Fake Preds with that big clutch that Route made. Honestly, that's been the highlight of the tournament for me is getting a revive with such a small circle, gaining all of that loot, and then ending up winning, coming back. It's those tough games that really feel like they mean the most. Like when you go through a tough time, you overcome it, you come out on top. Like those are the games to remember for sure.
And that's where we often talk about like mental momentum. Look at it. Fake Preds went from being on the cusp of defeat to suddenly going, we're going to take that, find a way to turn it into a victory, and then move into the next game, find themselves another victory. It's because after you have your back up against the wall like that, and you manage to pull off a play, suddenly you're like, we can just do, that was with one of us. Imagine with 3 of us, we're just unstoppable. And suddenly it's just like the gates come open and every single play is, I can win this.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you don't become overconfident and you're taking the right fights. But honestly, it's Broken Moon. How do you ever know if you're taking the right fight? How do you ever know if you're about to get third-partied? Because we've seen it happen where you're on the edge of storm and you're very far away from zone. There still might be a third party that occurs, but I mean, sometimes it's a little bit of luck, but most importantly, it's surviving, staying alive, not going down, recovering before that third party comes, and hey, if your gun skill is better than theirs, you're winning another one.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much strategy you got. If you can just pump out the damage like Dynasty, you can do whatever you want, right? It's there's an old saying is, as long as you commit to the strategy, it'll work, especially if your gunplay is good enough that every strategy suddenly works. And that's pretty much what they're finding examples of. Looking through, do we see anything fun or feisty coming out? Foldy? Oh, I thought for a second we were going to see something crazy, but you know, Octane, I'll take it.
Well, High Precision's been taking 50-50s off drop. I'm wondering if they're going to do the same again. Definitely note that, but other than that, there's been maybe 2 50-50s that occur off drop, and everything else is smooth sailing. We're going to take a look and see who is dropping on the ship right away, because this is typically where they find that fight at the 50-50 here.
Yeah, looking through, it's, I mean, pretty much everything available. See how the drops come into play as our usual suspects look like they're starting to eye similar pathing.
All right, so there is no 50-50 happening at Atmos Station. It's actually going to happen in Bionomics. A little bit of a change of pace there. Anything else look out of the ordinary? No. Foundry has one team. Cultivation has one team. Terraformer, nobody wants to contest CPT just yet. Titanus, they're going to be fine. And this is the 50-50 that we were talking about. Oh, no, it's just a duo. It's the very last game. They might just not feel up to it as they were just a duo. So that's going to be the end of the tournament for Ruthless Rampart.
A Northwest Circle. We did it.
Oh, we did it. I mean, you did it. I mean, randomized.
This is a team effort. We all did
this.
We all did this together.
The random generator did it.
Wharf, Dry Gulch, tons of new fun. Production Yard, we saw a touch of at the end of that last game. Lots of options to look through, so I'm kind of excited where our potential is going to be headed from this one. Also, that does mean the fact that we're going to see a shift in death funnels. Death funnel is usually whenever a circle leads into another circle, so therefore the players that were playing on Edge now have to path in a similar fashion. We've been seeing a lot of them come in around that promenade area, specifically as we've been seeing cultivation circles down to the south. Those cliff facings up to the north coming in from promenade, that's been where we've been seeing a lot of these choke point battles happening. Now it's a full change-up. These teams that we're having to fight specifically from the north down into the death funnel are going to find themselves in the safer positions off the start. So a mix-up finally happening for some of these teams that have been dropping in the north.
Yeah, true. Definitely a mix-up for sure. Core is going to have two teams. They might end up fighting here soon. Scan's going to go off, but no hostiles detected, so no fight just yet. We got a lot of these teams on the east side, and they're all going to have to rotate soon. They probably didn't expect this northwest end zone to happen. New team. They love fighting off drop. They love being aggressive. That's probably why they play the Bloodhound. And you can just see that they're spamming that scan. I have to close the gap, but it's going to be really hard to walk up on this as the other team is securing high ground. I think that's Goku Black. Yes, it is on that high ground.
So, new team, they've been having some trouble on drop, so looks like they are at least finding themselves alive and comfy, but spotting out the oh-so-great nemesis that has been harassing them at the start. We at least have one with purple shields. Are we going to get some tap damage or anything else into this one? Looks like some of the damage is connecting from teammates, but 18 is not going to be enough to kick this one off, so new team looks like they're just going to probably have to step away, but hey, stepping away from a fight that you haven't been able to step away from beforehand is always a win.
Yeah, for sure. Especially noticing that they did have the disadvantage. Like sometimes when I play a ranked, I'm just like, hey, they have the advantage, we have the disadvantage. Why are we bringing the fight to them? You know, if they want to bring the fight over, if they want to fight, they should bring it to us. You know, sometimes you got to stand your ground and yeah, don't take the short end of the stick. But it seems like they're just going to be able to get more loot. I mean, they're on double whites right now. Wouldn't want to push a team with that anyway. So, win-win, like you said. Axolotl, where are they? They are near Foundry.
Yeah, they're back down to the south quite a bit. Now looking in, they're going to take the rails over into the east. It looks like it's going to be pretty chill. Most of our teams are pathing pretty well. We do have, it looks like, Daniel has Curiosity back behind him. It feels like we've been seeing Curiosity somehow up and around Daniel's positioning quite frequently. I guess it's just due to similar drop patterns, but the death funnel does look like it could be coming around that South Promenade area, depending on how some of these teams are pathing in, as it does look like, what, 2 more might be coming in around that area?
I like the feel of that spot. Let's go.
Yeah, well, they do have the time to get inside zone, and if they are getting gate kept, they've got the meds to be able to take their chime there. But hey, CPT, they're going to rotate in. This could be a dangerous position to rotate in. They don't have Valkyrie. As you can see, they are playing the Catalyst. I like Catalyst as a legend. I'm glad that they introduced her into the field. I really like what her kit brings to the table. But I just haven't seen too many clutches pull out from her in this tournament specifically. Do you think just because she's a new legend, people don't know how to use her to her full potential yet?
See, that's one of the problems with the legend selection is you don't really know what it's capable of until you have that genius moment when your back's against the wall and you think of something new to do with it. But at the same time, when there's money on the line, you don't want to play with something new or your back's up against the wall because you don't know what to do and you're having to be a genius. So I think it's just we haven't worked out all of the capabilities for it. Oh, God, that was just dirty. Now looking out, watching your teammates just be dead. You got to leave that one alone. But yeah, I think that there is potential there, especially with vision blocking and whatnot. It's just we haven't seen where to use it best yet.
New team actually ended up getting pinched by 2 teams. And unfortunately for them, one of those teams was Titanus on the back end of this. So Chris Uwu is going to push up after that 120 damage. And Titanus will be finding themselves in an early fight to grab that early KP to try and catch up to Fake Preds and BNB in terms of points. This is the last game, so they've got to give it their all. High Precision was eliminated. Titanus picking up those 3 kills, 11 squads remaining, and things are very tight right now.
This is a different TTN. Sometimes we do see them at the very end in the last game really try to summon a lot more of a kill-heavy strategy. This time around, it does look like they're leaning into that early as see, it's just going to be raining batteries and ammo back behind as Mac's going to be following in. At least you can see being much more aggressive in hunting at this stage. Taking shots in, we'll have to see how this is going to progress as the south in that promenade area is still being that problem location. As where I'm looking at it, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams all coming in, trying to wrap around South Promenade into that production yard line. That's going to make this just more and more complicated to deal with.
We got multiple fights right now breaking out on the south side and multiple third parties just waiting to happen. CPT did lose Dr. Magic, but they're trying to hold this building down with that catalyst. Are we going to see the catalyst effect here? Very good damage coming in from Curiosity. He is an incredible player indeed, but are they going to be able to survive with all these teams around them, surrounding them, prowling around and trying to get them killed? Well, Curiosity's got a nade on him. He's going to be able to dodge this one for now. But Fake Preds, they've got a lot on the line as well. They either have to survive or get these kills in a clean and honorable fashion because there is about 2 teams nearby. It seems like they're going to step away here, take a deep breath, and CPT might be able to recover that banner with Bangalore.
Gotta be careful as Toaster is eliminated. They started well, but the last 2 have not been so friendly. BNB really low on life right now, but it's gonna be Wape that does find in some big damage to turn some of this fight back around. He's just gonna try to hold up and defend for his squad. Now one of his members down in ADMP, but it is just precision coming out to try to make sure he can get some more out of this one. Purple on the other side of it though is gonna make it more complicated. Makes his armor switch. Now looking back in, trying to connect more, is hitting just onto Flesh. Is he gonna be able to tap the last couple in? Goes for the spray and does pick it up. Rollers MX is eliminated.
Oh, Wape, seriously, the MVP, the big turnaround of that fight. Oh my goodness, BNB really needed that. They are tied for first place. If we saw them go out at 10th place, I don't know if they would have been able to make it, but that clutch from Wape, that quick armor swap, the shots just hitting, he was even pre-firing, he was just not letting them have the advantage over them. That was perfectly played by BNB, and like I said, they really needed to win that one out if they want to win the rest of the day. Perfect. Well played by them.
You want to win, you got to make sure you can clutch whenever it's important, and that is what happened right there. That's understanding the fact that things were going sideways, but still just wanting to make sure that you can secure it at the end, and that was brutally played, understanding exactly what was happening. That was more of a mind game fight than it was anything, is understanding exactly where the approach was going to be coming from. That was just very, very well executed.
It was indeed, and he wasn't scared to go down. He had that prowler right in everyone's face there at the end, even saving his teammate there, but hey, there's still 9 squads left remaining. The tournament is not over, but this is the last game. So every moment counts, every kill point counts, every placement point counts. Fake Preds on the south side. I think they're hearing the shots go on off at production yard. They might want a piece of that. They want some kill points there. Logie is still alive. I'm not sure if it's with banners or whatnot, but Logie's got to survive for his team, as his team's sitting in 4th place. I mean, if he ends up, you know, oh, I think, did he get a revive off Curiosity? Oh, yes, they did. They got the revive off, so CPT is a full 3-man. That's very good to hear.
Yeah, this is going to be a hard pathing area. As you can see, just to the west of them is where it's going to be more complicated. 3 teams right up on top of each other, but hey, maybe there's going to be some loot to be found as teams are starting to drop. Fake Preds wanted those kills and are now starting to find them. They still have to make a path up, and with this, there is going to be more contenders in front of them. Looks like we are getting a warp circle, as well as we did move very far into the north. A couple of teams are already entrenching inside of the compounds up there, but the run and gun strategy from Fake Preds means the fact that it's going to be a very kill-heavy game for them if they can manage to walk away and make it to that end circle.
They have to survive coming into the zone here, because on the other side is Titanus. It's not an easy squad to have to fight with the zone on your back, but they did find a safe spot to play. They have all of the wall surrounding area. Good thing they didn't walk into Titanus, because that might not have ended well for them, but they did find a good spot. They still have those 2 teams behind them. CPT is one of them included. There's another fight, actually. BNB's fighting right now on the other side of the map, taking down Jay Silent.
Yeah, it looks like they managed to have a good defensive line and held up for it. BNB, you can see, just sprang into that very cleanly, as this is a contained fight. Walls back behind them, and it is just these 2 squads. Nobody else is going to be involved in it. With this, one of the members just says, yeah, this isn't going on our well, and it looks like it's going to be Goku Black that just goes ahead and jumps the wall, flies in, and is going to be running right into 2 different squads. So, yep, they're going to stop right on the edge of the zone, and BNB gets control over this area, as really it's just a waiting game to see what's going to be popping off into the south, and really what could be happening with this brew between Fake Preds and TTN that are so close to each other, with 2 teams coming in on the edge.
Hydras was just eliminated, so BNB picked up some more kill points. I think they at least have 6 kills, which is going to put them, I think, a little bit ahead of Fake Preds, if I'm not mistaken, but we're still in the top 7. Anything can happen. Bro is trying to get inside the storm, but hey, take a look at that. It's Titanus, and it's Fake Preds gatekeeping everyone. CPT is over there as well, and they're actually gonna come steal these kills from behind.
Imagine trying to push in. You're bro, and you're just trying to make it into the circle, and it is going to be Fake Preds and TTN on the other side of it. Now trying to commit into the res. Looks like they should have some time to work with, but they got to be careful. This is still a very contested area. Rush is going to come in. He is going to go down, and this is just the ring. The ring is going to be doing so much work. Demos at least managing to get a shield back up, but you can see this is ticking very, very hard with this. Also looks like we might be seeing something start to pop off, as it is going to be Mac that gets down. Daniel spams. Both teams now realizing who's right next to them. This could be a fight to watch in just a moment.
My goodness. So CPT eliminated. They were in 4th place. Titanus taking down Fake Preds, as it seems, as you were saying. Don't know if it was all of Fake Preds, or was it just one? It was just one member of Fake Preds. 2 of them got out, and Titanus actually turned their head around. A nice 180. And they're finding more kills to pick up. Beautiful plays by Titanus to... You know, they need these kills to catch up on that leaderboard. They really do.
Well, there's another couple that could be coming. Yep, it's going to be Chris that manages to get it down, and a quick thirst onto him as well. So this is going to be a quick return back into this. Bro, last member up, trying to take some shots in, but this is near insurmountable, as it's just going to be trying to get away. He is going to get spotted out. Bro does get eliminated. But with the reposition coming out from Fake Preds, you can see that now they're having to deal with B and B, who both now moved into a gatekeeping position onto TTN. So TTN, while they did get the kills, they're going to be walking into a potential kill box of 2 teams that very much want them dead.
My goodness, BNB, I think, are chasing Fake Breads now. Fake Breads only has one member remaining. It looks like what happened earlier. Route managing to survive on Bangalore, but as I dare say it, it might look like he is doomed. Dynasty coming in on the Pathfinder. Route eliminated in 5th place, and don't forget, 5th place is 4 points, 4th place is 5 points.
Oh, Route actually providing a path to the circle, though, as it has popped right into BNB's favor. And with BNB making the chase in after Route, that means the fact that TTN found a path into the circle that was going to be gate kept just a moment ago. So TTN does have a position where they could push into where we see BNB holding down at. But let's not forget about the other two teams holding out just to the north and could have some vision in. This compound is not going to be in play for too much longer. I think just a corner of one building might still be in. Just a high ground. I think it can be like a plateau area.
All right, so does BNB get surrounded and get angled out, or are they going to be able to hang on to the spot that Route kind of led them to? It's a little bit of a blessing there. Thank you, Route, for leading us to the place that we want to be. But out of our top 5, it is BNB, and it is Titanus. You know, Fake Prez is eliminated, CPT is eliminated, and Outsiders are actually still alive.
Here comes a fight. Both sides of it are now starting to vie against each other. TTN is making the push into BNB's position, but remember, BNB can pump out a ton of damage. That's been what they have been working around. So as this fight is starting to brew over here, it hits a good 60 on it. We're going to start to see both these teams now start to come after each other. Outsiders still just trying to hold up on this line, as both teams, really both of these fights, nobody's wanting to commit in because they realize this Dinosaur Venom just takes a ton of damage. Does manage to get back up, though, as TTN does get pushed away from BNB. Now TTN is right along the same line, so there's a third party waiting for TTN to happen right over here, and that's a lot of letters all in a row.
That is a lot of letters all in a row, and that's a lot of teams in a row for BNB to shoot at, so they are looking pretty for now. But we never know what will happen. Will BNB get caught out of position because they're so split up, or are they going to be able to manage to snag most of the kills here as they watch everyone jump into zone? Very nice beams with the R301, hitting on blue, hitting on purple. Does he get caught out? He's playing Pathfinder. It's really easy to die on Pathfinder, but he's hitting for flesh. He's not going to stop.
Now it's just getting more and more problematic as BNB has control over the circle. They've done a good job on setting up multiple sight lines on everybody that's going to be leaving this. With TTN having to move into this area, Mac's going to go down. That's another follow-up. It's going to be Dinosaur Venom again. Our boy with Nessie finding himself a good capability and a good fight up against TTN as Outsiders still outside the zone, but it's also going to be BNB moving into this more and more aggressively. They want to make sure that there's not going to be an inch of this circle and no foot from either one of these three teams can actually step into it. So now Outsiders got to make the play in. They're going to jump down, going to hit for some of the damage inside of it. One of the members is going to go down. Packers, Dinosaur Venom's going to go down as well. Just Black Mamba, the last one up, does manage to take down TPK, but now the next problem and the next set of hurdles is going to be coming in BNB.
BNB, it's going to be a 3v3 if they manage to get those revives up on the top there, and I think they are able to. Black Mamba's still alive. They're looting in that corner. They're getting the revives off. BNB didn't risk it. They didn't push up close. They want this win. They are thirsty for this win, and they were already tied for first place, so they are looking pretty in this final 3v3.
Just look at the setup that they've got. This is just so clean. One playing the wall very close, ADM playing back behind this one with more vision, and then they've just got a Wappe right in the middle of it, sitting inside the circle to make sure that if anybody actually does try to make a jump in or try to get anything, still in a defended position playing from cover. This is going to be very, very hard to make a path in. You can see just any type of cover that's going to be available is the thing. But now that he's moving forward, you can see they're moving into these walls. Dynasty is holding this angle. D's going to find in a nice spray, and now it's just going to be a problem. Which way do you go? Because both of these gates are now going to be kept, and it's going right in. Good point on vision. Going to try to go for the drop in. Dynasty finally pumping out a lot of damage, but BNB is going to take it in the end. Dynasty not even going down.
BNB securing their first win out of 5 games, and that might just lock the win in for them. We're about to find out, but they played that perfectly. And I gotta give a big shout out to It's Route for leading them to that position and allowing them to gatekeep Titanus and kind of push them away into the other squads. It was great positioning by them.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be one of those things. If you're Route, you're going to be kind of mad you ran that direction of all directions because did set up a good end game, especially when we look at that leaderboard and how close it was. It was good to finally see BNB find them the victory because they've been playing very, very strong. But TTN also came out very early, and I remember them picking up a lot of kills. So this could be more complicated than we think.
Yeah, for sure. It could be a little bit more complex. And I was telling you before the broadcast, and Nate, they're fighters. There's going to be a lot of people on the top of that leaderboard, and there surely is. But this really solidified it for BNB. This clutch by Awope, the armor swap, the saving his teammate Dynasty as he tries running away. This clutch by Awope. I mean, if I was his friend, if I was his teammate, I'd be definitely buying him dinner after this one.
Yeah, especially because that could be the thing that propels them into an overall victory, which this was, you could tell so many players, so many teams playing with heart at this last section because nobody wanted to give up a single inch of territory into this. But again, look at this setup from BNB. What do you even do here? You jump down, he's got a great beat onto it. You try to line out the other teammates, but it's not going to matter. He's still got a beautiful peak point to play from, and just look at how much of him is still covered in. As actually, he did end up going down. I guess he just got rezzed right afterwards, and that was just so fast. So I misspoke. I thought that he did not.
Well, that's all right. Let's take a look at how many kills they net themselves. They got 14 kills plus a 12 point for first place. That's a huge game for them, and I don't see anyone else having more than 14 kills in that final game that we had. But BNB, take a look at them. They are on our winners bracket. Finally net themselves the win, but we knew they had it in them.
Whew. Overall game standings, you can see big performance from BNB, but Titanus Fake Preds 1 point still separates them out. So TTN just barely out surviving Route and making it into those later stages is going to be what turns it up. Outsiders going to be back behind them. CPT also finding themselves in that 5th place position. Back behind that, Axolotl, Rollers MX, TPK, a Toaster, and Bro rounding it all out for the end of our action today. And it was a hell of a day of action, North America.
A big round of applause for everyone that has played in our games today. And this is not the last day for the Apex Legends Master Circuit. We've got Wildcards Qualifier number 4 on December 17th at 9 a.m. PT. And we've got the Apex Legends Master Circuit Final January 7th at 9 a.m. PT.
Give me more. I want it all. Mortal Kombat as well as Dragon Ball Fighters. Or Dragon Ball Fighter Z, depending on how you want to say it. We also have Madden, always good to watch, as well as more Street Fighter action and Tekken. Lots of fighting and a lot of sports coming down the pipeline. As we're moving into those cold winter months, you don't want to be outside. You want to be inside, and you want to make sure that you're competing in every single thing that you can, because there's a ton of options for you to be involved in. Most notably, how do you get involved in those? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's right. You go to compete.playstation.com so that way you can sign up for everything that you want to be involved in. See, it's right down there. Makes everything so easy. And remember, as you are fighting your way through all of these rounds, there are a lot of prizes on that overall table. Most notably, whenever we're looking at it, remember that during this winter months, we do have capabilities to rack up wins inside of the PlayStation tournaments all throughout December and January for a chance to win prizes like the new DualSense Edge controller, as well as PlayStation 5 consoles. Sign up on console or start competing for prizes today. Full rules can be read on compete.playstation.com for everything that you could ever want, girl.
And we also have opened our community Discord, all right? Join the PlayStation Tournaments community Discord to find regular updates on esports events, articles, video games, and meet with others to improve your game. So if you've got your phone out or around, you can scan this QR code to get a direct link to the Discord. Come on, join us. There's a lot of fun, a lot of activities to enjoy. PlayStation doing a lot of great stuff for the community.
And then even if you don't feel like you're going to compete, jump in, figure out what's going on. You might find out about more events that you want to watch. There's always something that's going to be brewing on PlayStation. That's one of the great things about the community. And we want to thank them so much for putting on all this stuff and inviting us to come have fun and inviting all of the players. Thank you as well to production. So before we step out, girl, what's your final thoughts for the day?
It was an incredible day. So happy to be casting with you. You're such a bright person. I love casting with you. Your energy is so high. Loved watching everyone compete today. Amazing tournament to watch everyone compete, and you guys did great. Even if you didn't make the top 10, you'll be able to make it next time, right? We saw on the schedule, there's qualifier number 4. Can't wait to see you all next time.
And I had fun with girl as well. It's always a pleasure. Every single time I see I get to do some Apex with you, I always know the fact that I'm probably going to learn a thing, and you're going to bring some solid jokes and fun. Always good to see your charisma and personality behind every single time on the camera. Thank you so much, everybody, production, and thank you for watching. We couldn't do this without you guys, but it's been a long day. I need to go get some water, and I need to go play some Apex of my own. See you guys out on the battlefields.
Thanks for watching.
PlayStation